I was so interested to see what they were gonna do because like Team Reptile just like drop bomb rush cyberpunk, did a couple patches and then just disappeared.
Yo, human. W video, bro. W. Lit. It was awesome. We just got access to a ton of new music for any montage, etc. Some original music. It's from one of our friends who's a rapper. So dope. He's pretty good. So it's not like mediocre. Ooh. There's not enough time. Even for 3v3s, low key, as someone who like loves comp for the casual, it's very good. But for someone who likes to see the setup, the spawns, the rotation, I hate replays. Unless it's after the game, personally. That's just me personally, though. But I know for the casuals, they love it. Most likely.
I do.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. No. I'm not saying you should take them out. I'm just saying that's my opinion, and I know I'm the oddball.
I mean, you and I talked about this. I don't think you're the oddball. I think it's because we come from a more analytical background.
Yeah.
So, like, seeing setups is pretty important for us. So, seeing replays is doing nothing for us except rehyping a moment. But, you know.
PHL Season 2 is upon us, and with it comes a brand new format designed to be in step with the format of the official DreamHack Major. In this format, Cash Out and Final Round will both be used throughout the entire season, with the most important matches being reserved for 3v3 Final Round in true finals fashion. The regular season plays out over 3 weeks, with playdays on both Wednesdays and Saturday, but this time around, the days go hand in hand. Wednesday playdays will play out like the normal playdays from past seasons, with shuffled groups each week playing 5 cash-out matches and earning points based on placement and kills. But these points will work to sort teams into groups for Saturday. The best 4 teams from Wednesday will be in Group A, the second 4 teams in Group B, with the bottom 4 teams in Group C. This is where the majority of points will be earned. The groups will play a single match of cash-out, then the top 2 play a final round best of 3 for first and second. Bottom 2 playing for third and fourth, the top 2 from Group B play for fifth and sixth, etc. down the line. At the end of league play, the top 8 teams will qualify for their regional championships. Unlike previous seasons, there will be no inter-regional competition. We'll save that for the major. Now let's talk about the championships. Spots 1 through 6 will be locked for champs, but 7th through 10th place will compete in a last chance play-in. The championships are going to be using the same format from day 2 of the major, with 2 stages. Stage 1 will be a series of cash-out matches with final round 3v3 matches to eliminate 4 teams, leaving the top 4. Stage 2 will use the match point system, also known as the heat system used in the major. 4 teams will play cash-out, with the top 2 teams progressing into 2 final round matches, teams earning a point for every final round win. A winner will be crowned when a team reaches 5 final round wins. Welcome to PHL Season 2. We hope you enjoy the ride.
That's 2 from graduating. He's done it! He's finding success in the middle of this furball. Absolute calamity from this.
The winch is going to stall it, and he's done it! He's done it!
Unbelievable from OG. Carries the team. How has Carnifex gone away with that? He even gets the second.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back for another NA Play Day at the PHL. We got some great matches for you today. Great cash out day full of ton of surprises and great teams. I'm Sensoyo, your caster, and I got randomized here. How you feeling today?
Good, man. I mean, we've already seen these teams play each other for last Wednesday, and then we finally got our first showcase of how the Saturday format works. So now we just rinse and repeat. We're back into cash out. It's going to be, 4-team brawl out all night to pretty much decide where everyone's going to be playing this Saturday coming up. So I'm really excited, Sonsoyo. We have some pretty nice matchups that we're going to be seeing, especially with these 3 groups.
Yeah, what matchups are we going to be starting off with today? Do you know? Right off the top of the head, right there, everybody. We got
Yeah,
Envy.
I'm just that good. Got on your screen.
We got Envy, Nightmare, Fire Strays, and Team Kiri. All signed teams going into this matchup. But the map picks, as you see as well, randomized. You want to run through that?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 of the, I would say, we have the podium positions of Nightmare, Envy, and I believe it was, Fire Strays as well. The top 3 currently in the NA League, and then Kiri, who's sitting in 5th place from last week into this week. I mean, these guys have shown why they are some of the best over in NA. It is scary to see these guys have to play anyone else, really, because they've shown time and time again. I mean, we've seen Team Envy. We've seen them do speed runs. They got a 5-peat last week. It's just insane. So everybody else, good luck. You're going to need it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I think today we're going to be starting off on the Zomi Citadel, running it down to Bernal, Fortune Stadium, Cis Horizon, and then finishing off on Vegas. So we got some great lineups for you today. Starting off with a little bit of a close combat map, somewhat similar to Cis Horizon. It's a new map, so we'll see how people have adapted to it and created their own meta. I know there's a lot of change-ups from EU and NA in terms of the meta, so we might see some different stuff today.
Yeah, I mean, constantly these players are fixing up on the metas. Appo just put out a video talking about how the pros even figure out the metas as time moves on. But yeah, we've seen so many different styles between both EU and NA. EU tends to be more strategic with their metas, while NA seems to be a lot more run and gun, I feel like. So, with that being said, son, it's time for our first match.
Here we go. We're going to start off in the first vault fight of the day. We're starting out with Team Kiri making their rotation over to Vault 1. Going to meet up with Team Envy. Going to be a little bit of a difficult fight, but this fight usually breaks out in a big face check right as these doors open. These teams are going to be ready to start shooting. And we do see Akazu taking a little bit of damage, going down to half HP, known to be on that goo gun, but also running Graph Cube. Interesting choice.
Definitely an interesting choice. And of course, over here at Akazo, breaking out the goo gun as always. And wow, the timing of the goo gun being able to keep him alive there as he's still trying his best to stay alive. Viper looking, I believe, is down. Unfortunately, the overlay's a little bit off skew. We do apologize about that. We'll have that fixed momentarily. And as I say that, we have other teams completely off skewed and out of gear as Strays are the first team to get wiped.
Yeah, Strays going down is going to be big for Nightmare. And now it looks like the box being tapped by Envy is going to mean we're sitting back, waiting, camping this cash out, waiting for them to rotate, getting ready to pounce.
Yeah, and as we're getting ready for that, Nightmare, I believe, is the first one to put the money in. They are going to be putting that one over at A. And now we have a battle on both sides. Currently team versus team, nothing too crazy. Again, last week, NA has shown how chaotic things can get. Stooge getting eliminated just like that. Morphix rocking the FAMAS. Love the gun. Medium main myself. Very happy to always see the FAMAS getting worked. And just like that, Envy with one person left, busy out rotating wide. Gonna wait for his teammates to get in there. Kiri is gonna be able to take that cash for now. But as we switch over to the other side, it's Nightmare playing on the defense while Fire Strays are working their way towards the cash out. And as you can see, Nightmare already looking to rotate around and try to catch all Fire Strays as they are now going to steal it. You hear the alarms going off. A little bit of pressure. It's fine. They're going to let him steal it. There's still a little bit less than a minute, but not too much to worry about as they are starting to make the push. Huge winch from Slothy, and just like that, we're already starting to see some damage onto Nightmare.
Yeah, Fire Strays, unfortunately, is going to go down. Nightmare perfectly collapsed on top of that cash out. I was a little bit nervous that they wouldn't make it in time. All that goo blocking off their entrances could have caused disaster, but on the other side of the map, we're going into Stooge healing back up his team, resetting them, getting a flank, but it looks like Morphix is down, and Akazo and Viper are going to be the last two on this point to hold it down. Will they be able to lock it down in time for Morphix to get back up as he does coin? Or will they see the trouble during the flip? STN taking some big damage. We're going to be closing down on this point. Stooge sitting up on the top, finding Morphix, stopping him from rotating in. The steal going out again. All that damage from that Pyro nade. Pyro Mine's going out. Viper gets taken out by the BFR. Akazo gets sniped again. It looks like the steal's going to maybe go through, but a third party comes in. Does he drop it? He sticks it. It looks like they might get it, but unfortunately, Fire Strays gets the wipe and are going to take it for themselves.
Oh my goodness. After all of that fighting, Envy does such a good job making that push in against Team Kiri. And as soon as that happened, Fire Strays timing that third party and just cleaning them up, going in for that money. That was insane for them to, like, literally the timing at the millisecond there.
Yeah, I cannot believe they made it in time. They let Envy do all the work for them, just cleaning up the scraps. Exactly what you love to see in cash out. Very unfortunate for Team Envy.
I would definitely agree with that. And that is something You have to remember, even though you are the one that clears the team, your back is never safe. And this is one of those things where the difference between a normal 3v3 and a 4-way brawlout, how you just sometimes you win, you beat the team, you think you're going to get the cash prize, and someone comes in, swoops and steals it just like that.
Yeah, and right now we have Fire Strays in control of their own cash out, as well as Nightmare. Both teams getting the plug, going to be on the defensive, but we're watching Team Kiri make their approach towards Fire Strays point. Right now, cash out D, going to be looking for a drop, get that C4 off that, set up their barricade with the goo, utilizing the value there, but a grab vortex comes out, doesn't grab anything, pyramids and all, but collapsing down, Varian gets a kill on a Kazo, and Morifex drops instantly to that CB1 repeater. It's just gonna be the flip coming out for Fire Strays.
Yeah, the timing, unfortunately, Akazo really working. This is the one thing about being the Goo Gun player, is that he is constantly trying to set up a defense, but it took him a little bit too long, and the other team was able to capitalize on him still throwing mines down and not being prepared to keep his teammate alive. So just like that, even though they did get the steal for a hot second, it's taken right back.
Yeah, now we're watching Team Kiri going to be making their approach towards Nightmare. 30 seconds left on this point. Let's see how they're going to approach this. Gravity Vortex in hand. Not sure how he's going to use this on the offense, but we'll see in due time. Going to drop it down. Another goo barricade going up, blocking off the entrances with that Grav Vortex, and they're collapsing. Uni getting a great pick.
Oh my god, just like that. Again, Ikazo trying to create the defense, and it was not working out for him. The timing just comes out. Everyone is ready for him to build the defense, and just like that, Nightmare was able to keep their cash in their pocket. And on the other side, we do have a fight, barely running out of money. No, he's somehow, Stu, even with the had to reload, was able to defend his teammate. And that's going to be money for Envy, as well as we're going to be moving on to bolts number 5 and 6.
Yeah, and if you're Nightmare, you're looking pretty good right about now. A lot of money in their pocket, 34K to their name, and relatively even for Envy and Fire Strays. This plug's going to mean a lot for every one of these teams. It could mean that a guaranteed second comes out from Nightmare if that's the strategy they want to go for, or could be vying for that first place.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, again, you are looking to set yourself up for more points on Saturday. So locking yourself in early with some extra points is not the worst idea, I would say. But even teams like Team Kiri, they have shown time and time again that they can fight back at the last second. We all know that the final cash out really makes the big difference. You said it yourself, Nightmare in a very comfortable lead. I don't think they should be worried too much, but at this point, they could probably play a little bit of that griefing game if they want, really decide who they want to have more points and who they may potentially see on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely an interesting plug from Team Kiri. Going to be playing for second place potentially, but they're really relying on Nightmare getting one of these cash outs. But as they do, they're taking their own cash out away from them. Going to steal it from Team Kiri. And now Team Kiri is going to be able to spawn back in, play for that A point, and now really go for that second place if they really want to. Will they have enough money after the steal?
Again,
or will Team Envy be able to defend?
Last time we saw, North America just seems to be that style of crazy running guns, and we're probably going to expect to see a bit of a third party, as you can see right now. Viper locking eyes onto Envy's cash out. His team working slowly through this one, trying to find an opening, get themselves in, teleport through the bottom of the building now. And again, even though they are making this push, there could be someone else coming in to ruin this push. Right now, they don't have to worry about it too much. It is looking like Fire Strays is deciding on how they're going to go about things, but right now, Viper is the first one to tag Stu and force him out of position, but they are going to have to start making moves quickly. As I'm saying that, Morphix almost getting eliminated, still somehow alive thanks to Kazo's big goo shields. But now, Morphix somehow actually staying alive. Nicely done. There it is. Fire Strays now making the push in, and it's still working out for Team Kiri. I said it just a few minutes ago, just because they're in last place doesn't mean it's going to be the end for them.
Yeah, and they do get the flip, and now they get the opportunity to play for that second place grab cube. Going to be locking that down. The goo holding down that cash out. Nightmare sitting pretty on the other side of the map, has no trouble because everyone on the other side of the map is playing for second. The grab cube going to be holding that defense down. Fire Strays gets wiped by Nightmare, and it does not look like anyone's going to get this point. So that means second place goes to Team Kiri. Nightmare going to take first place pretty handedly.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare has been playing amazing from over the weekend when they were winning their 3v3 to then coming out like this. And I really feel like they have changed up how they approach these matches, and it's looking so much better out of Nightmare. The timing, the pushing, the rotations, that was really good to see them here on Nozomi. And I really do feel like those close quarter combat style maps really do work well for Nightmare. So it's going to be interesting how Nightmare is going to be kind of shifting as we go into Bernal, which I feel like actually kind of works out a little bit better for Envy.
Yeah, I do think Nightmare's adaptability, being able to play pretty well at long range, but really excelling at that close range is a great point. We're going to see how Bernal changes up this next game, transitioning from that close range map and fight to this long range poke engagement. There are some close range fights that do happen on Bernal, but ultimately those head glitches are going to be what's deciding these matches.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do want to point out something, and this is one of the reasons why, hey, everybody listen, that plays ranked, pay attention to the stats. Ikazo had 0 kills, and they still didn't get last place. It's almost like when you work as a team, you make some money. Sorry, I had to point that out there. We did have a goose egg in the lobby, but still, it comes to show, even though Ikazo wasn't going around trying to get some kills, that the goose shields were working, and he's a little bit slow. I'm hoping they can speed it up a little bit more into this next match, because it was like the ideas were there, everything was right. It just felt like it was executed ever so slightly slower than it should have. And I feel like if they can pick up the pace when they go to do that, we will completely see a flip side. And I feel like we may actually have a more balanced match going into map 2.
Yeah, I entirely agree with you. Did you see the way he was goo stalling for his teammate, trapping the enemy in the goo while his teammate was stealing? Fantastically done. But like you said, I do agree, a little bit more speed up. I think that comes down to missing maybe one of their main players and subbing in Morphex. And Morphex is a great player, but maybe that chemistry is what's slowing them down. So as this game develops, we'll see how they adapt in this competitive match.
Yeah, definitely. Something, again, we were talking about the speed, the movement of the teams, Morphex being the sub. That is a true point to keep in mind for Team Kiri. So, the beautiful thing about the finals is that there's so much chaos that sometimes, even though your team may not have the best flow, sometimes the chaos ensues inside you and you just pull off some amazing plays. But speaking of chaos, we're already going to have some chaos going in, as Nightmare and Fire Strays are going to be battling each other off in the beginning, while Envy and Team Kiri will be taking each other over at number 1.
Yeah, gonna be going in for an early tap. Gremlin makes his approach with that BFR. The beauty of having Winch with the BFR is those guaranteed headshots, guaranteed burst damage after the Winch. But again, we see long, drawn-out fights over on this side, which could mean trouble because Team Kiri is already wiped. But Varian going to be taken out by Uni, so that's going to swing that in their favor. Could mean a little bit of a stagger if we do delay this plug, but looks like they're just going to grab it and make their rotation over to Cash Out A, as looks like Cash Out B is also getting ready to be plugged momentarily.
Yeah, going off of last match into this match, I feel like it is pretty scary to stagger, I feel like, in my opinion, because when you have a team like Fire Strays that can time things so well, you really don't want to give Fire Strays the advantage of that third party, timing the staggers and everything, because it's just going to put you in a bit of an awkward place. Now, that being said, Fire Strays did come in last place, so even though they're timing on third parties as well, everyone was still able to take advantage of just pure outskilling Fire Strays, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Fire Stray is going to be rotating the other side of this cash out, making a little bit of a different angle, trying to be a little bit unpredictable. They do get some damage on Gremlin, but that's going to be healed up as T-Mills gets taken out by that BFR. Varian going to be looking for this res, no pressure coming out from Nightmare just yet. Just going to be sitting tight on this rooftop. I do like this approach as this meta has developed, specifically in this meta, but not only that, in the game, these fights have gone slower and slower. Every team does not want to make a mistake, playing so patient.
Yeah, you really want the other team to make the first mistake, and it is one of the hardest things, especially in a wide open map like this, as you're trying to make a move in. Uni, though, onto his last bar, almost getting taken out. Fire Strays are going to be looking to make their push, forcing the rest of Nightmare down. As you see, they are falling down into the second and first floor of the building. So it's going to work out a little bit better for Fire Strays. They do have the height advantage. And just like that, Team Mills was able to spot them as they tried to go into a team camouflage. And it's starting to work out. They knew a position. They were coming from Team Mills, able to get an assist, help out his teammate, take that one out. And that's going to leaving Uni all by himself, the light player. It's going to be pretty tough. I think he's still riding that M11. But as I say that, Team Kiri is coming in for the third party, and now they're just going to play Fire Strays game style and wait for the other team to do all the work, and they're pretty much going to close us out in probably about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we even have a little bit of Team Envy coming over for those kills, trying to get a little bit more pacing as they just cash out on the other side of the map. And as you said, Team Kiri coming in last second, stealing it. Gonna make themselves go into that second place position, but Team L is hitting some great shots. Trading back after Varian does get taken out. Gonna look for that reset, but fish in a barrel right here. Gonna be taken out by Team Nightmare. Booed themselves off on one team and just getting invaded.
Yeah, they got invaded, and now Team Kiri looking to jump down onto Nightmare, trying to take advantage of them being a little bit out of place as they were able to eliminate Strays. But it did not seem to work in their favor. Akaza was forced to back down, and the rest of Nightmare looking to try to get out of there and start rotating towards the next vault. Although Envy just having a good time on vacation on the other side of the map, looking to move that money in and plug in that vault. That's another extra money into their pocket now, and Envy looking pretty strong here on map 2.
Yeah, and this is where things can get dangerous. A fight's gonna break out between Fire Strays and Team Kiri on the vault, which might mean Sia's quite a bit staggered behind Cash Out D. We'll see how this plays out and develops as Nightmare make their approach to fight Envy on this rooftop. Gonna be probably going for an invis pad play right here, right now, as they're privy to their position, taking some big damage. Gremlin gonna have to look for that reset. That pad now gonna be taken out.
Oh man, the big brain plays coming at us, dude. Just reading Nightmare like a book. It knew exactly where they were moving, what their plans were, looked straight at them, and as soon as they put that pad down, just like you said they were going to do, son, it just did not work out for them. And now Envy is playing the long game. They are doing everything they can to constantly pressure Nightmare back to the bottom, not allow them to push. And as I say that, Team Kiri coming, walking in from behind and looking to get the steal. They do. So it's going to look like it's maybe a three-way battle. And if I'm checking my distance right, Fire Strays not too far.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that was pretty crazy. Just hopping in last second. That goo is so good at just taking those cash outs right out in the open, stealing them from right under their nose. But Fire Stray has got to cash out of their own. This is going to be dangerous for them because all this fire, first of all, going off on Cash Out D. Nightmare's going to have a tough time stealing this because Team Kiri res backed up, reset, and a winch goes out, but Gremlin gets taken out himself. Uni going to be taken back up from Lasagna, but it's not looking good. Akazo does get taken out, making it a 2v2, but Nightmare not in control of this cash out. Huge disadvantage coming their way.
Big disadvantage in their way for sure, and Team Kiri were able to play it off really nicely, and as soon as that happens, the steal may be coming in here. Good defense coming out.
He missed.
Wait, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. Oh my god, he wasn't able to stop him. He missed the go, and that ended up working out. I don't know how that worked out, but he did.
Anyways, on the other side of the map, it looks like Fire Strays is gonna cash out. Only 20 seconds left for them. Uni and Nightmare gonna make their approach after narrowly missing that cash out. Gonna get shot in the back from Varian. but on this box, not going to be able to stick it. Does get taken out by Sloth. That BFR coming in clutch, hitting some big damage shots on top of Gremlin. Lasagna looking for that reset, but it's a little bit too late for Nightmare. Now gonna have to look for that final cash out.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out for them. It's a little bit more balanced, like I said, on this map, though. I'm not surprised by it. Unfortunately, Nightmare, who had a really good first map, is now the ones fighting from behind, but not too far behind. The first cash going in by Envy, and now Nightmare rotating over to Vault 6. They're going to probably try to open this one up and set up their own cash out.
Yeah, right now, if you're Nightmare, if you go for a separate plug, you're playing for second place. I don't think Team Kiri wants that to happen. They want to get the plug of their own. That's going to get them a pretty good spot for first place. A minute and a half left to plug. They do have plenty of time, but Lasagna and Gremlin getting taken out on the other side of the map. Just going to be Uni left and Akazo fighting a 1v1. Will he get the kill? 1 HP does take out Uni for the wipe. And that might secure them a great position for first place.
Yeah, that was huge, and it's going to be good for them, especially as they're going to probably try to go for that cash against Envy. They did have a bit of a back and forth last map. I'm sure they would love to snag that first place and get some more points. Again, points on Wednesday are very important to set yourself up to get more points on Saturday, because that's the groups you're going to be playing for, the positions you're going to be playing for, to set yourself up for the playoffs. We're halfway through league play already. Surprisingly, we're already in week 2, and so it's going to be very important for these players to set themselves up nicely for the end game.
And what is going on? Akazo just holding it on the other side of the map. Going to be playing for second place. It looks like does not want to be taken out, as we see Nightmare go to the box and look to reset now. Only 2 up, 30 seconds left on this cash out. Going to be quite a difficult spot. Could be 3 teams showing up. Envy looking to rotate over shortly behind, but will they have enough time to make their way over to cash out A? Only 20 seconds left. Going to be a last second steal opportunity for Team Nightmare as they do look for that box, but Envy is going to hold them back.
Just like that, Gremlin was the first one to be taken out in this big fight that's happening. Good play coming out of Strays to move this into a little bit more of an open position. And just like that, time runs out. Fire Strays, who had a rough map 1, comes back swinging here in Bernal.
Yeah, huge W for Fire Strays. Team Kiri going to be playing a little bit of a long game, going for double seconds, guaranteeing their second place. It's going to try and have smooth sailing through these matches. Take first if they can, but as long as they continue getting second place, they're going to continue to be in a great position in these cash out games. We'll see as this game develops, moving away from Nozomi and Bernal, going into our third map. Huge kills on the board. Every team doing it relatively well. We do see frags coming out from Uni on, as always, huge. Great light plays, and Sloth leading the light leaderboard here, so it shows.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, though, is the consistency out of Kiri and Envy. Kiri got second place in 2 maps in a row. Envy got third place 2 maps in a row. It was just Nightmare and Strays who actually flipped their positions. So right now, Nightmare and Strays are going to be tying up on points, and it's going to be Kiri that's actually going to be the leader of the points overall. Because for anyone that is somewhat new to PHL, again, Wednesday is all about setting yourself up for Saturday, as I was saying in the mid-match. It's a lot of points to be gained. 100 points, 80 points, 60 and 40, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, or 20 points for every position. So, math is going to be very important as we move on into map 3, which, if I remember correctly, is Fortune Stadium.
Yeah, Fortune Stadium has some of those volatile points. You have to do a lot of crossing those jump pads, especially Ngmo Hospital building over on that map can be very difficult to cross over. If you do get some bad spawns, it's very tough to push some of these points. Overall, I do think the map is relatively balanced, however, but with these teams knowing these spawn manipulations, knowing these positions so well, can sometimes be so difficult, especially in a 3v3. But with cash out in play, you have multiple teams to worry about, multiple angles. Hopefully, these teams can make these rotations across the map relatively smoothly and get what they need done and secure those cash outs.
Yeah, these teams are going to have to get a little creative because almost every building usually has about 2 to maybe 3 pads to jump over, and then usually have some sort of rope somewhere around them. And of course, we did see in that last map, we saw some of the players looking to use that goo and the bounce pad to try to make another option of moving in. And as I'm saying that, Uni coming in with the M11, just taking out one player, taking out another one. Busy gets taken down by 2 players, and the last one to be alive is Stu. Stu couldn't do anything. And that is a really good start. On the other side, though, Varian gets taken down. Fire strays. More looking like fried strays. I can't get my joke out, man. It's late. It's Wednesday. I started on my joke twice. Let's go. Roasted and fried. That is my brain, and that's why they're going to be fried strays from now on.
Well, you turned it around back onto your own self-roast, so we'll move away from this. We're going back to Nightmare, plugging in over on A. Fire strays getting wiped out on the other side of the map is going to mean that Team Kiri gets the plug. No stagger in sight, but Stu making their approach over to Hospital, rotating up, using this pad, may catch Uni off guard, but a big RPG goes out and a winch claw as well. It's going to be a lot of damage to heal. Gremlin gets taken out with that winch melee animation cancel. And here we go, but Uni coming in clutch with that M11, going to hit a lot of shots, but he has to reload 1v1, 1 HP. Uni clutching that out for his team on defense.
The way that they were able to keep Gremlin alive long enough, force everyone to dump their clips onto him, and then Uni comes flying in and just kicking ass like that. It was amazing to see how Uni was using his movement so well. And now a lot of fire on screen as the fried strays, my joke finally worked, sort of, trying to steal the box, and it can't really hold on, has to reset that again. And Kiri is just being a nuisance at the bottom, doing everything they can to stop the steal.
Yeah, it looks like that steal is going to go through as Morphex resets Viper. Akazo going down. I think it would have been a better play to stay alive, rotate out, let them take. But we see Viper getting some fries with Morphex, getting some big shots, but not going to be enough because Slothy and Varian are going to clean up house as Akazo coins back in. Back on the other side of the map, though, we see another fight potentially going to break out. A little bit of a stealth play, sneaking around. Gremlin might have been spotted. Lasagna sitting up on that high ground. Going to be going in for an RPG, but Gremlin right behind him winches in, and now big damage, but both of them trade out.
He was trying to make a choice. He didn't know who to shoot the RPG at. I think he was more surprised to see how much goo was everywhere, and the hesitation pretty much just threw him off. And unfortunately, just like that, Envy, who was trying to be the sneaky beavers, just falls flat. The move didn't happen. This is not the Envy I expected to see today, son.
Yeah, Envy having a little bit of a struggle bus to find their way in these fights. Their first fight, their entrance looked pretty good, but the sustain from Nightmare was just so critical in that moment. Second fight opening looked a little bit shaky, but less time in the cash out, so I'll give him that. Moving in to the second cash out, this is going to be the critical moment for these teams to make their run back. They aren't out of the show yet. This is going to be make or break on the second cash out, though.
Definitely. This is what's going to really start setting the tempo. We were in the intro of the song. Now is when things get a little bit more meaty and more exciting. Varian doing a good job keeping his teammates alive, and just as that looked like it was going to be a fight, players come in and teleport out, taking advantage of that and getting the cash moving. They're going to try to plug that in quickly so they can get some of that money. But because of the way they were running away, it leaves Morphix all by himself. Kazo, with barely any health, is not going to be able to get into that fight. We do have a little bit of a trade happening, but Morphix, with probably about 2 HP, somehow alive, getting his health back. He's going to have a rough fight ahead of him, having to wait for his teammates to coin back in and Fire Stray to do some work.
Yeah,
Nightmare also gets money.
Akazo just used his last coin of the match, if I'm not mistaken. That could spell trouble as this cash out gets going. I think Mori probably better off jumping off the edge as soon as the match comes to a close. But on the other side of the map, we're going to see a fight break out yet again between Envy and Nightmare. Will Envy be able to get the run back, but entry damage comes out onto Stu-J.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a rough position for Envy now, having to try to fight their way in and get some work going in there. Last time Envy and Nightmare saw each other in the 3v3 on Saturday, Nightmare beat them 2-0 on Bernal and Nozomi. So they showed that they can handle close quarter combat and far combat against them, and just like that, Envy again eliminated off the map. And Nightmare has your number, Envy. You are not going to be able to break this Nightmare.
Yeah, and it looks like Fire Strays also successfully defended their cash out. Only 30 seconds on this, but Uni popping off.
Woo. I mean, we saw Uni warming up last map, but the 11 kills this map, gee, I mean, he's making that M11 look like, I don't know, like it's a golden gun at this point.
I mean, Uni, tried and true M11, he used it all throughout his career. Once he got into comp, it kind of started swapping around, making those meta picks. But now, Fortune Stadium seems like one of the better maps for that M11. These close quarters fights, as soon as you do get across, can be very useful. Envy going to be making their approach onto Cash SC, backs off to try and take a fight. But we have Team Kiri making their third-party debut on this match. Not going to be able to get this most likely, but a steal is going out. Will they stick it? It's going to come down to the last second. Will they get it?
Way.
No, my,
What
no,
are you doing?
they don't get it.
He was right there. Oh.
Wow. Holding it down. Everybody dogpiling on this point. We had Fire Strays, Kiri stealing, Nightmare and Envy just cleaning up house.
I mean, the panic just kicked in and he couldn't get the kill. I don't know how that happens. I mean, you know, everything's a mystery in the finals, that's for sure. Everybody will just do something to just surprise you. Put on a show for us. I mean, they're not the young guns. They're the ones I would expect to do something silly like that, but whatever. Yeah, mulligan and try again.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I think a split might be in our cards for this next cash out. Would guarantee first and second for Nightmare and Fire Strays, but they first have to get through Team Kiri as More Effects versus Gremlin. Mori making the rundown, does find him finally and does earn the right to tap the box. Still has to make his way all the way over to the other cash out.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit of a silly chase, but they're going to get the tap, they're going to get that money going, and they're definitely going to need it. Kiri sitting in that third place, and the fight happening on the other side. Wow. We just switched over and Sloppy
More Effects not res?
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. I thought he touched and was going to go to res. Maybe they thought they would coin, try to get a better spawn so that they're a little bit more ahead.
Yeah,
again,
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
Akaza has 0 coins. I don't know
true.
what that play was, but I was a little nervous for Nightmare, but since that second box did not get plugged and we see Fire Strays just holding it down, Nightmare's in a great position. Team Kiri still has an opportunity to take cash out B to potentially put themselves in a kill race with Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare and I would say Fire Strays, even though they had a bit of a scare the first map, they have been pretty much running this lobby 2 games in a row. Now they're up in first and second, and Nightmares doesn't even have to really worry about Envy looking to take this one. I mean, if Envy gets this again, this will be the 3-peat. They will be third 3 times in a row, and just like as I say that, it looks like Team Kiri, again, somehow sneaking right under the nose of everybody. Ooh, the RPG went off, but was denied. And the Gremlin trying to get the kill, it just does not work out. And somehow, Envy stays alive in one of the weirdest pushes I probably have seen in a while.
Yeah, looks like Lasagna's there. What is I thought Lasagna would be anchoring, because if he wiped, that could be a very deadly position. Fortunately, $100 separates Nightmare from third place.
I mean,
Wow.
maybe that's why he poked his head. He just went in. They said, "Yo, secure us that second place. Get a couple kills if you can, just to make sure we stay up there." But math checked out. Envy again, third place 3 times in a row. But huge plays coming out of Fire Strays and Nightmare. Again, they've just pretty much running it. Uni with 13 kills. I'm actually surprised it's only 13 kills because he had 11 kills on the first half of this map and then seemed to slow down. A lot of people started to shut Uni down, but not the worst thing in the world. By the second round of vaults, Uni went from 11 to only 2 kills. So maybe other players were starting to realize they have to be watching out for him. But at the same time, he did enough damage at the beginning to really determine how that map was going to be played.
Yeah, and I think those kills are crucial, especially as we saw how that game ended. 13 kills, keeping them $100 away from third place.
Yeah.
Good thing your teammate's a fragger, because man, I would love to have Uni on my team if I made a team, but otherwise, W for Fire Stray is going to take another game, and we saw Team Kiri drop down to fourth place. It's going to be interesting to see how they managed to make their run back. They were playing the safe game through and through, and I think people are catching on. People are playing a little bit more high risk to really squeeze out those points in these cash out rounds.
Yeah, no, especially being wary of Team Kiri. Team Kiri over and over, 2 maps in a row, constantly, being the little mouse in the lobby, sneaking their way in and out of all the rubble, through the holes, and being able to steal the cash out last second. And this time, it just didn't happen. They were trying to play that sneaky game, trying to go from last second steals and take advantage of the chaos. But it didn't matter because finally the team started to notice when the cash was starting to get stolen. And speaking of being sneaky beaver, CNS coming in and hacking in on some of the maps as we go into Sis Horizon.
Yeah, Sis Horizon, try and true fan favorite. Embark, when are we getting variants for some of these maps without them? Would love to see the creative stuff. I know they're fantastic at making maps. I think they really hit their stride with not only Sis Horizon, but going into some of the most recent maps, I think very highly loved by the community and the comp scene. So fantastic work. Going into Sis Horizon, though, we will look on to cash out Vault 1 between Team Kiri and Nightmare.
Oh, speaking of Nightmare, Gremlin looking to get right up in front, being the good heavy, trying to get the aggro off his teammates. But we do see Variant sitting right there next to the catch. I think he's going to look to try to move this right away in the middle of the fight. No, he actually backs. No, there it is. He got it. I think it lagged a little bit for me on my side, but it worked out for him. He was able to get that one there. But you do see Nightmare chasing them down, trying to stop them to maybe secure a little bit of that extra money that you put in the first one.
Yeah, Morphex going to get taken down early. That's going to be bad for their team. Viper finally looking for this plug, just going for that plug money. Gonna suicide for that as Nightmare looks to the flip. Akazo, last one up, not going to be able to do much as Vault 2 still almost 100 meters away from the other cash out. Akazo does get found, however, and gets eventually taken out. Not going to be good looks if we do not see another plug come in from Envy. It looks like they're working the box on the other side of the map towards cash out A. Going to be a 30-second stagger at least.
Yeah, and again, this stagger is going to really let those third parties come in and sneak in. We've seen Team Kiri do it time and time again. Maybe everyone has figured it out and has been able to time the third parties a little bit better on the defense end. So Envy is going to be able to secure that 2,000 and look to try and get themselves into a better position. Again, Envy has just been lagging a little bit on the second half of the teams, so we're hoping to see a little bit of a turnaround for them. And now we see Team Kiri looking to make a push onto Nightmare's cash.
Yeah, and I do think Fire Strays, it looked like they were going to make their way over, but ended up going for that 3v3. We see a little bit of a setup coming out from this team, looking to set up the goo, but it looks like Nightmare's in such a dominant position. No winch in sight for Akazo to manipulate that cash out. Gonna have to take this fight straight up, try to get out with the goo gun, hold their health by their wayside, but Akazo gets taken out. More effects gets dropped by Uni. Uni, a clean double kill, looking for his third in between his sights as Viper peeks that high ground, and Lasagna and Gremlin push aggressively.
Yeah, again, there was that hesitation coming out of the Kiri. They like almost slowed down. It didn't work out the way they wanted to, but now we got the rest of the lobby coming in, as we do see Fire Strays looking to try to get that last second steal into that third party. Nightmares in a bit of an awkward spot with Lasagna down. You can already see the push coming in. It's actually starting to work out for them. The yoink and the wench, and that worked out really nicely, even though Fire Strays tried to play that third party. Nightmare had it all under control.
Yeah, there was way too much hesitation for Fire Strays. They went to go test Envy over on the other side of the map, and ultimately decided it's not worth it. But their timing on that third party from them just a little bit too late. Not going to be able to jump in while everyone was damaged. They did get an early pick off on Lasagna, but ultimately found nothing from it.
Now, Kiri looking to try to play this one a little bit slow. I don't think they're going to actually go for the push. But they are actually in a position right now where they're kind of wenched between Nightmare and Envy. That is a nightmare, shall I say. And the next cache actually does come in, and they are right where they need to be. So hopefully no one's going to make a hard push on them. Everyone will be moving towards D. And it will work out for Team Kiri to try and tag Vault 4 and move it towards C, while there's a lot of fighting going on. But it is Nightmare and Envy taking each other on. If I was Envy, this is the team I don't want to be seeing right now. Because again, Nightmare is currently their nightmare.
Yeah, and with Kiri opening up Vault 4 late, gonna cause another stagger and snowball this fight. Not in the lobby's favor. Everyone's gonna be split, but STN taking some damage. Huge shots coming out on the rotation. STN get taken out by Morifix and gonna be closing in on Busy. Busy gonna be taken out, and Stujay, last one left in this game for Team Envy as the plug goes in for Team Kiri. But other side looking pretty staggered on this front. A Rez camping that corner. Huge shots on STN. Will he be able to get the two-piece on to Stujay? Clean it up. Ultimately finds it with Viper's team shots.
That was very clever, Morphix, not to go for a full chase. Wait for the rotation to happen, catch them off guard, and get Envy out of there. And now on to the other side, Lasagna looking to hunt down some of the Fire Strays as they lost Uni pretty early into this fight. Lasagna doing a good job putting a lot of damage down onto Slothy, but Slothy and the rest of his team is able to put a lot of pressure down onto him. And just like that, Lasagna goes down. Gremlins is the next one to go down. Uni just coins in. So now it's going to be a little bit rough as Fire Strays was able to get the steal. Nightmare is going to struggle, honestly, because they are a little bit... No, they're gathering pretty quickly, actually. Nice speed out of them, but they're running out of time.
The last second steal, it feels almost like, will they be able to get there in time to stop it? The winch ultimately coming out. Sloth gets a big winch and exposes Lasagna for Variant to knock out. Gremlin gonna try and run away, but the speed of that heavy is not gonna be swift enough. Over on the other side of the map, it looks very dangerous for both teams. Huge shots coming out from Stujay, finding great connections. More effects taken out, and Viper following behind him. Akazo trying to recoup and hold on to this point. Hold on to straws right now as C is caught on fire. STN going to be caught on fire as well. The heals coming out. Graph Cube as well, knocking that point out of his grasp as his team coins in. Team Kiri now fighting Fire Strays as they come in for the last second steal. This could be the team that they needed to save their day. Viper gonna be looking for that grab cube stall last second, but looks like that Pyromine gonna be going off. May deny the point, and it looks like Team Kiri ends up taking this point on C.
Wow, the amount of craziness that just happened right there. Envy looked like they had everything under control, and then Fire Strays come flying in and completely tipping the scale. But it ended up working out for Team Kiri, who you do see fully eliminated. They still were able to get that money. So the match is still relatively tight. Envy not too far down. These last set of cash outs could be enough for them to just jump from 4th to 1st.
Yeah, if I were Envy, you'd be playing for second. You have to get this plug in a cash out. I think second is a pretty good consolation prize given the whole situation of this match. Stujay setting up a gateway for his team as Fire Strays may be looking to deny, but with Sloth down, that's going to be quite difficult for them.
This is going to be really important for Envy. Again, they have just been struggling in that third position over and over and over again. They want to get more points out of this as much as possible, even if it is a second place. That is still going to be a big difference for their points because we are already on map 4. There's only one more map after this, so it's going to be a big play for them. But right now, we are watching Kiri looking to make a move onto Nightmare's cash box. Envy sitting a little bit pretty, so it's going to be down to Fire Strays if they are going to completely tip the scale again. You see Akazo doing a really good job setting up that defense a lot faster than he has in the past, but unfortunately there is a gap in the defense as we did see one of the players able to put some damage down. That's going to force Kiri back down to the lowest level, and here we go. The third parties are starting to come in as Fire Strays are looking to also be a nuisance. This would actually be huge for Fire Strays to go and get that first place again. That would give them 3 maps in a row of taking first place.
Yeah, I think Envy's going to be sitting pretty on the other side of the map. They got their second place on lock while everyone's fighting for first over on Nightmare's position and cash out. But Nightmare's in a very great spot to defend this cash out. Gremlin and Uni positioned up high. Gremlin's ready to drop down, get that win stall from that position if he needs to. But Team Kiri going to be taken out from Fire Strays, but Akazo 1 HP and not gonna be able to get it. It looks like Fire Strays is gonna call their end on Cash Out B and make their way over to Envy for a last second steal.
Yeah, there's only going to be about 30 seconds for everyone to go and make their move. You see Slothy already in a pretty good position to start pinching the entire crowd of Envy because the other two from Fire Strays coming in from a different angle. But unfortunately for Slothy, he does have, it looks like Team Kiri on his back, and while Varian was trying to go for the flank, he's got Nightmare on his back, so it's going to be an all-out prowl here. It's going to be pretty much locked in for Envy as we pass the 7-second mark with maybe a few more kills to try to determine who gets first and who gets second. Envy starting to wake up and take second place.
Yeah, that one coming out from last place. Got to feel pretty good from Envy. They need to carry this momentum into the final map of Las Vegas if they want to get some good points. Kind of sitting in that third place position through and through up until now. But we see a second win from Nightmare. They're looking pretty good right now, honestly. But look at this scoreboard, honestly. Varian with 14 kills.
Yeah, I mean, Varian seemed to be a little bit shaky, but this time he played a lot better this time. And I don't want to say like shaky like he was playing bad in the last maps, but I didn't feel like he was fully awake. And Varian just totally woke up in this match, shutting down everyone in the entire lobby, doing such a really good job, really helping his team take that first. You know, it's important for even if you're not going to get that first place. I know I made the joke earlier about like you need to put the cash in, but sometimes, like you said, having a teammate that can just go down and start blazing up the field can make a big difference. We saw the $100 difference thanks to all those kills. And now, again, we have another team that kept the match extremely close cash-wise thanks to the kills.
Yeah, exactly. And as we go into Las Vegas, do you have any predictions on who's going to kind of come out on top based on the previous performances? We've seen these maps go from these long-range fights, just similar to the long corridors that we'll be seeing in Vegas, as well as the close combat fights in Itomi Citadel. Who do you think is going to be posturing up to take the W in this one?
It's a hard call, honestly, son. I mean, I can go either way with Fire Stray or Nightmare. They've both been showing how they can handle the long range. They can handle the close range. It doesn't matter for them. I really think what's going to come down to is the speed coming out from Team Kiri. Honestly, I feel like Team Kiri, even though they have been struggling to really put some hard damage and really take a good place, their speed matters because when they start to play slow, it allows third parties to come in and make it harder for everybody else, where if they play fast, they are able to eliminate and set themselves up with a good defense. They could potentially take out two teams back to back. We know everyone on Team Kiri has the skill to do it. It's just waiting for the moment for them to actually pull off some of those trap cards that they have been waiting to play.
Yeah, I think we got two X factors in this lobby. We have Team Kiri, as well as whether or not the pacing of this match is going to be another staggered box or kind of run down as even as possible. I think that's going to determine how much RNG and how much chaos is going to be in this lobby. Hopefully, we see a not staggered box situation as these fights break out. Stuje going to rotate his team up to the top using STN's pad. Going to provide some overwatch over onto Cash Vault 1.
Interesting enough, getting behind the team, they were looking at each other across from the buildings, but allowed Kiri to take the touch. And now, trying to get behind Kiri's back and look to do some damage, but Kiri did such a good job touching the vault and then rotating far away to set themselves up nicely. And just like that, both teams are struggling to even put any amount of damage onto each other. And Busy comes in and snags the box. Unfortunately, though, his teammate does go down. So now Busy has to bring it back up. And it's looking like the trades for Envy are not in their way right now. Kiri doing a really good job slowing down any progression out of Envy.
Yeah, and More Effects is popping off right now. I think he's single-handedly gotten every single kill as this fight trickles on. But the return fire comes from STN, getting the vengeance that he was looking after, taking down More Effects. But Akazo now in the crossfire, not looking good for him. Viper going to be the last one left. And as A goes in, we finally get the other box making way over to its cash out.
Yeah, now we can see Nightmare looking to start their attack from high, looking to find the right angle, maybe a hole or two, seeing if anyone from Fire Strays is currently up in a more of a higher defensive position, but as they are looking around trying to figure it out, they're getting shot in the back by a third party and getting forced right into Fire Stray's hands. So they have to be careful as they make this push. Lasagna only has one bar, he barely has any health. Getting healed by his teammates now. Looking like they're going to finally go and start and make the push. Make some noise, try to get them to look one way as they are going to push in another way. We can start to see Fire Stray starting to work their way up the stairs. But there's so much smoke and explosions going on. Neither team can find each other. And looking to find the little bit of the gap in the defense.
Yeah, Fire Strays is kiting is immaculate right now, moving pretty far away from the point, but now calling out the steal right on top of it, ready to pounce like a tiger.
Oh.
Getting a pick on Gremlin, huge positioning and pacing. But Tino's getting taken down as Gremlin gets brought back up. The damage needs to come out from Varian and Sloth if they want to even things up, but Uni and Gremlin just a little bit too powerful of a combo for them. Gonna be able to get the flip now. On the other side of the map, we have Envy matching up against Team Kiri, and More Effects being the last one left. We saw how deadly he is with the FAMAS, but in a 1v3 scenario, not much you can do but just wait for those coins.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything, unfortunately, especially when Envy is starting to wake up a little bit. There's just a little bit over 30 seconds left onto this cache, and even though Morphix is waiting for his team, he's getting shot in the back by another team, and it's forcing him up into Envy, and it's getting a little dangerous, but he is putting a lot of damage down. Unfortunately for him, because he was pressed from behind, that's going to leave Akazo by himself as he coined in. And again, they are getting shot from across the map. I believe that's Fire Strays just being a nuisance, and Nightmare is here to also really make things even harder as they are looking to get the steal. Big C4 play, dropping the box. One taken down. You really do see Busy trying his best to stall, and he did an amazing job getting that stall out, and that's going to be Envy's cash.
Yeah, and a last-second steal attempt from Nightmare. Gonna be pretty big, but cleaning up Envy, also gonna even things up. I think the wipe just came right before they got that point confirmed, so not much of a wipe penalty for Envy. Gonna be a great situation to kind of get this pace back up, but for just getting tapped basically as D gets plugged in, may be cause for concern for this lobby as we get things started over on this side with Nightmare.
Nightmare looking to get themselves prepped for this attack onto Fire Strays. On the other side, Kiri and Envy will be fighting for the cash. Lasagna looking for any openings, trying to find a good position to start this attack. not letting them rotate up high is going to be very important as Nightmare looks to push in. They are playing this one slowly and cautiously. They don't want to be the first ones to make this mistake, and as I say that, Gremlin gets spotted bouncing off to the other building. He's trying his best to stay alive, and he's taken down. That's going to leave Uni and Lasagna by themselves. They're going to have to be fighting from on top. Slothy did drop down. His teammate was taken out. Now he has to play his life. He is the heavy, though, so he can take advantage of taking a few hits. Steel looking to come in. Nightmare has all 3 players in. Salty trying to put some damage down, but it's not enough. Gets taken down by Lasagna. And on the other side, son, we look like Kazo is looking ready to go for the steal.
Yeah, Envy just kiting around this point, sitting basically right underneath Team Kiri. Team Kiri none the wiser of this cash. Now going to be forced to go bait this point as that goo goes down. Envy knows exactly what's about to happen. Will they be able to get this steal? Envy going up high. Going to be stuck in a gravity vortex. Great gravity vortex from Viper, taking out Stu J and STN. What a call out on that positioning. Now it's just going to be busy left. 3 bars in hand. Sitting tight. Does get found and taken out by Akazo. I do think we may have a pretty good defense time to set up as Fire Strays makes their way in. Got to make this defense fast. Set up those pyro mines. Set up that goo because another team's coming in. Rolling up right now, and RPG's probably going to go out. We need to evacuate the premise. If Akazu gets taken out, no more Pyromine C4 combo in sight, but not going to be enough time for Fire Strays most likely to take this point. It's going to be going the way of Team Kiri as Nightmare secures the other side as well.
This is what I was talking about, Sunsoyo, earlier. Kiri played with speed. They put so much damage down onto the other team and were ready for the third party, able to win the cash. That was so important for Team Kiri to play exactly as they did. Good on them to be able to do that. And now we have the cash moving on as 5 is officially open, and it's between Nightmare and Envy. And again, Envy has just not been able to figure out Nightmare's new playstyle.
Yeah, Nightmare just going for that guaranteed second, trying to keep this one out, but with that cash out so close and busy dropping down, sacrificing his life for the plug, it makes sure Nightmare is going to have to be at play for this one. Gateway most likely going to be set up for Fire Strays. Not sure how they're going to make their way over to A because Team Kiri going to meet them there. But the steal goes out on this cash out. B flipping the way of Nightmare. Would be a great situation for them with a Uni down. Not sure where Envy's at on this positioning.
Yeah, I think Envy went to go for a bit of a kite, and it took them a little bit too long on how they wanted to do that. But Nightmare is down a player. Stu is just pinging people really quickly, and they do spot one of the Nightmare players up high. That is Gremlin, so that's going to not allow him to set up in a position to really wench. Lasagna is able to get up Uni, so we do have our 3v3 as Envy looking to take back B. And they have to play this one smart, but they are a little bit spread out. They got to be careful with this one. Getting the goo gun up, or the goo grenades up to create a little bit of defense. They do get the steal in time. Busy was able to get STN out of there, so that is back into Envy's hands. But they have to play defense now as everyone else is pretty close, and you already see the cash out getting flung around. Gremlin was able to pull that one in and looking to steal, but he's got 2 teams coming right at him.
Yeah, and looks like Akazo does not want Nightmare to have this point. Going to be looking for that stop. Now, Gremlin going to be hopping back on it after getting that kill on Akazo. Envy getting taken out by Uni up top. Nightmare finally going to retake this point. Fire Strays uncontested on the other side of the map, looking pretty good for that second place position. Not going to be much time for anyone to even contest any of these points. We do have Team Kiri here going to make a last second approach on to B, but a few seconds left. They need to hop on it now. Not going to be happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be happening from the spawn position. It's just going to be very rough for Envy to do anything like that. Uni tried to keep his teammate alive, but it doesn't matter. At this point, you're just going for the kills. You're just going to take him out, and it's looking pretty secured. There it is after the time. Fire Strays will be taking that second place. Again, these were the two teams I was talking about, Soyo, earlier, that Nightmare and Fire Strays were going to be the ones to dominate this map.
Yeah, I do think you have a good point, and right as you predicted, and as the matches have gone, we saw 2 wins, 3 wins now come out from Nightmare and 2 from Fire Strays. That's pretty big and tells a very good narrative on the dominance of this cash out. NB not really able to make any headway for those first place in this lobby. Team Curie did pretty well at the start, getting their second places, guaranteeing their positions, but ultimately falling a little bit down on the adaptation, getting those 4th and 3rd places towards the end of this cash out rounds.
I'm just loving the fact that Uni and Varian are both just playing flex games right now, where they are both trying to be the dominating slayer of the room. And this time, Uni, again, with 11 kills, just went out of his way to make sure everyone was taken down. T-Mills, though, actually not even breaking 1,000 damage, but it still really worked out for him and the rest of his team. I mean, if you don't need to get the damage out and just do all the other work, let your teammates run around, start shooting, and you do all the dirty work. And worked out for them. They got second place.
Yeah, and I think the first places really tell a story here. And it looks like, based on the points, my predictions would be that Fire Strays and Nightmare hitting those top 2 spots in this lobby, doing very well. But we'll have to check on that at the end of today to see the ultimate standings in these lobbies. But I think we're going to be heading to a short break. Shout out to our sponsor, Crash, as well. Huge support from him, our Lord and Savior, via PR Chief Officer. We as one, even in the arena. So don't go too far away from your screens, everybody. We're going to be coming back at you with Group B. We got a big match coming up. Thank you.
All right, folks, we are back here with match number 2 of the day 3 for the NA for PHL season 3. Again, I'm randomized. Joining me with Sun Soyo. We are going into the second match, which would be Space Station Gaming, Ape Aura, Young Guns, and Luxury. Now, I'll have to say, Sun Soyo, very interesting match that we're going to be going into because currently Young Guns and Luxury have been kind of struggling from week 1, sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard going into this match.
Yeah, we're gonna have definitely a pretty volatile matches coming up. We have SSG being an extremely strong team in this lobby. We have Apor, who's still very good and well known in the scene. So it's gonna be great to see how they manage these matchups against the new guns, the new players in the scene, Young Guns and Luxury, making their debut in PHL. But for these map picks, we got Nozomi Citadel starting off, Bernal going into Cis Horizon, and finishing off with Vegas and Monaco. So, yet again, another pretty good mix up of close range to long range. Nothing too narrative focused. We have a back and forth between close, far, it seems like. So, should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, personally, me, big fan of Nozomi Citadel, especially the Nozomi side. Just the sparkling lights just makes it so interesting to me. So, my ADHD kicks in real hard on this map. And I always feel bad for my teammates when I'm on this map. But I'm pretty sure everyone else's ADHD is locked in as we are going to be moving into Nozomi Citadel. Of course, picked by us.
And going off on this first vault, we're going to be going in with Ape Aura running it up against Luxury, making their approach, getting the tap first. And now Ape Aura setting up for a play to be looking out for this team as they rotate around.
Yeah, nothing too crazy happening. We do see Luxury trying to set themselves up. As soon as I said that, they're already starting to put so much pressure onto Ape Aura. 2 players down. Sacred, last one to be alive as he's getting chased down. He's still being able to put so much damage, but it did not matter. The heals were coming in, and Byron was able to win that one. Jumping over to the other side, we're seeing Normalize already getting pressured so much coming out from the Young Guns, trying to stay alive. And too much chasing coming into play, leaving Young Guns in wide open positions, and that was an easy play for Space Station Gaming to run away with this money. And
he
goodbye.
falls off the map. Normalized, riding that surfboard of a wall straight off the map into the gulch down there in the Nozomi Citadel. Fortunately for them, they did get the team wipe and don't have to rotate in with a team chasing them. Brad going back for that res. On the other side of the map, we see Luxury holding down Cash Out A, setting up on this high ground. Ape Aura making their approach in on to this point, going to be rotating in from the center, making their approach on this high ground.
This is going to be a very interesting one because Ape Aura really only has 2 ways to come in. Luxury did check one way, saw that they weren't coming that way, and knew exactly where they were coming from. And now Ape Aura putting some pressure, forcing down Byron to the bottom and his teammates to follow. And now Ape Aura playing from above, drop right down and looking to make this a level fight. Luxury barely staying alive in this fight. Ape Aura doing a good job constantly forcing these players to back off, but it's working out in their favor as they are starting to kite and force Ape Aura away from the cache. They are going to try and go for the steal. They did try to wench it in, but it didn't really work out as perfectly as they would like to. But a pretty good position, and that's going to bring down Byron to go and try to stop the steal. He does do a good job, but that gets him not eliminated. Somehow he was able to stay alive through all of that chaos. Now Mega looking to chase down and not working out. Players are just jumping in between the entire team, trying to chase for 1 kill. And just like that, Ape Aura is out of here. Luxury wins that fight.
Yeah, and Ape Aura's got to pick themselves up and make a little bit of a better approach. Luxury single-handedly doing so well at defending this point. And on the other side of the map, SSG doesn't look like they're having any problem. I did see 2 players go down from Space Station Gaming against the Young Guns. I think it turned out to be a 1v1, but ultimately SSG taking the win over on that side of the map and gonna earn themselves a cash out.
Yeah, this is really important for Young Guns to make their right choice moving into this one. SSG did plug in a little bit late, but it's not too staggered, so it looks like we are going to be moving on to Vault number 3 and 4. And Young Guns with a good spawn will be able to set themselves up to at least take one of the vaults, and Tiger already spotting Aguilar, who forced him back. Not too much going on. Everyone's looking to try and set this one up as Young Guns do start the cash. And Honor taking some big damage, but he is just poking and trying to kite around the rest of the team. And now the pressure is coming out. Tiger is getting hit pretty hard. He's going to have to play back, but that's going to leave the rest of his team by themselves and everyone playing for their lives.
Yeah, I do not like Tiger's position one bit. Putting himself in a very bad position, eventually does get taken out. Honor going to be trading out Aguilar-Cino, going to even things up into a 2v2 as they just cut their losses and rotate out. A fight breaking out on the other side of the map. Great damage coming away from Apor. Going to win this vault fight. Grad just waiting for his team to coin back up and wait to re-engage on Cash Out D. Maybe looking for some shots in the back. Not sure if he's going to be able to get that pick. That's a medium. So it was a light, maybe enough damage to take him out, but Drac, Udriconi making his way over to plug that cash as SSG spawns back in.
They do get plugged in relatively around the same time, too. So no staggering here. A lot more control. This seems to be the theme of NA. It's chaos in the first match, complete control in the second match, and then I guess we're going to see domination in the third match, maybe. I don't know. S2 getting taken out, though. Getting wenched in, and just like that, Luxury gets completely eliminated out of here. And now we're looking at Space Station Gaming, looking to make their move over towards Abe Aura over on D. Ready. Lamp just jumps right in, gets one of his RPGs, gets the wrench, trying to get their heavy out of there, brings him down to at least 50% of his health. Still following along, finds the medium, or no, excuse me, that's a light. Mega's out of here. Just like that, Lamp is just putting so much damage. Ape Aura down to their last player, 2v1. Nate's at 3v1 now. Udriconi trying to play his life, but just like that, Space Station Gaming doing a good job being able to win that one. And on the other side, we do have Young Guns and Luxury coming in for the attack.
Yeah, but Young Guns making some great shots on both of them. Kind of playing both points. Not sure what their play is for this, but going to go back and defend their own point as Luxury makes their approach. Byron going to be dropping down. Tiger getting an early pick on that as Aguilar-Cino and S2 Gaming just holding hands, going to try and make their approach, but they get found by Honor the Pure. Do some great shots, and that's going to be Luxury wiped.
Yeah, just like that, Luxury just could not find the right time to get in and move together. This is one of the most important things. You are versing some pretty structured teams. Moving as a unit is as important as possible. We did see some awkward positioning coming out of Luxury, and again, we're starting to see not the most fluid motion out of all of them. Sacred coming flying in. It's gonna be a Young Gun cash, but at least try to get the wipe. They are able to put some damage down, but Young Guns still win that fight. Ape Aura completely wiped off the map.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Ape Aura. Gonna get taken out there. Realistically had no chance to steal that as long as Ruby Labubu was still up. That charge slam gonna be a guaranteed stall, potentially even more so than a winch. But Ape Aura getting third party on their first cash out made their pacing very unfavorable. And now,
excuse me. But we are looking for a bit of a setup here. Space Station Gaming does pop off 5 and looking to set themselves up in the middle between 5 to B, while everyone else seems to be kind of fighting over 6. No, we do actually see Young Guns looking to set themselves up to cut off this rotation with number 6, but it also has Byron coming in from behind, looking to try to set himself up. Just throws a cash box, tries to hit him with the box. Why not? He might as well at this point. But Byron doing everything in his power to try to stay alive, but he's going up a very, very quick Udriconi, who is looking to rotate back to his team as he was able to take out Byron. And even while that is all happening, Young Guns is there also to just be a menace.
Yeah, Abor gonna make their approach towards this cash out, but Young Guns in control, still having taken no damage in this third party and getting control of this cash out. Not gonna be very advantageous at charge. Gonna be able to go through that wall. We do see Luxury looking for the re-engage, as well as SSG making their approach over here. This might be the opportunity that Ape Aura needed for this steal. Gonna ultimately take that TP out of there. Ruby Labubu fighting in that corner, and Yu Draconi looking for the revive. Not looking very good for Ape Aura, but on the bright side, they will have a good opportunity to spawn back in, potentially be the last team in this situation to go Chow A.
Just as you say that, Tiger looking to try to stay alive. Honor is also not really in a position to help him out. And we caught Space Station Gaming looking to rotate a little bit. Cash is being moved over again. It will be under Luxury. Luxury looking to try and potentially even jump up to first place if they can snag a couple kills here in the last 45 seconds. Everyone looking to make their move completely from every single angle. Sacred looking to make a big hit, being able to put enough damage to get Lamp out of there. That's going to put Space Station down in a deficit, and Sacred is going to go for the steal, but Sacred's all by themselves. Ape Aura is going to get eliminated there. Normalize back up with his team, brings him up, but it's not going to be looking like it's going to work that well. Maybe anyone will be able to jump down there, but at this point, it's looking like Young Guns are going to be the ones to try to go for the steal. Never mind. As we see, Grad is going to be coming in and putting some damage down. It's actually working out really well, and it's going to be Luxury who are going to take this one and jump up to second place.
Yeah, and that's going to be SSG taking the first place in this lobby. Huge for SSG to start off with strong momentum. I'm excited to see how these kills ended up. We saw a lot of back and forth, a lot of third parties come out. Not a lot of staggered points, but these teams taking advantage of these team fights. We do see Grad with 8 eliminations, Lamp with 7, really dominating the fights for SSG, and Normalized really being that cornerstone for that team, getting great support out there. But Tiger, look at that, 10 kills, top frag in the lobby, ended up unfortunately in third place. Not going to be enough for them because they were taken out by Luxury for that second place spot.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, they were holding it pretty well, but then Luxury able to hold on to the cash last second and take that second place. Tiger, though, is the first medium of the North American, I would say the North American part of today to actually be the one to pop off. We saw lights all day long in that last match, and now we finally starting to see some mediums. Let's go mediums. Actually do some real damage like that. Sorry, I'm a medium main. I've always been a medium main. I play lights as well, but like when you see medium pop off, it feels good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Heavies have had their heyday at the start of the game, and now lights are having their heyday currently. Being the top fraggers, we do see a lot of controller lights as well as a few demon mouse and keyboard lights like Uni, but overall, I think controller on light is going to be doing great work. We're going to be going to Bernal for this next map. Like we talked about last group, Bernal is going to be favoring those head glitches on this, and as well with the introduction of that BFR, we're going to be seeing a lot of poke, a lot of long-range engagements come out in this lobby. So interesting to see what Ruby Labubu does. Will he be sticking with the charge and slam? Will he be playing it something akin to his tried and true nature of being off meta?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those maps where Charge and Slam I've never really seen do much work at all, to be honest. So I would love to see Ruby Labubu actually stay on Charge and Slam and really show what off meta can be done. We've seen people time and time again come into these pro events. Will work out for them. It's just, again, even Akazo last match, a little bit of the off meta with the goo gun, starting to make it an on meta, but you know, people still are picking the winch over anything. So we'll see what happens as we go into map 2.
And there we go. Ruby Labubu on that winch, just as you say. Charge and Slam probably not going to be the best option for this map. But on Vault 2, we're going to see Luxury face off against SSG for this first half. tapping in this amphitheater going to be very difficult to go out and get this box started. Will we see one team put themselves out there for this tap to avoid a potential stagger, or will this fight just go very swiftly?
Well, as you said, is it going to be swiftly? Everyone slow down. So it doesn't seem like a lot is going to be happening. We do lose one player from Apora, and we are starting to lose a few more of them. But over on the other side, Luxury trying their best to try to stay alive here. Take out Grad with a beautiful shot by Byron. Love this revolver. Such a good gun in this game. It really has changed how much heavies can do, not just on defense, but on offense, and it's working out really well for them. So that is going to work out well and allow them to use that cash box and move along. Luxury, though, they're going to have to play a little bit more on the back end. They get spotted. Byron, who was going for the res. Space Station said, no, you can join your team over on the respawn screen.
Yeah, Apora on the other side winning that first fight looked a little bit dangerous for them. They did drop a few players, but being able to plug that is going to be a great position for them. But Young Gun sitting on the box already. Lamp does get that plug in, or Normalized does get that plug in as we look for the cover of fire. Huge winch coming out from Lamp, but not going to be enough. Tiger ultimately taking him out. Brad looking for that cleanup on Honor the Pure and finding Tiger. Ruby Labubu going to be the last one left, looking for the reset. Does eventually get that res as Grad dashes away. Doesn't want to take on a 1v1 or a 2v1 situation, rather play for his team. A fight breaks out and Ruby Labubu goes down. Honor the Pure going to be the last one left for his team. Makes an escape as SSG chases. Does take out Normalize.
There it is. Yeah, finally works out for them. They do a chase. I really do like the fact of how much the teams are trusting each other. Grad, even though there was someone under them, took his time to look for that last player, ping him out, and that's why they were able to win that one. Over on the other side, though, Apora trying to play the line. Already lost down. S2 unfortunately taken out, and just like that, a huge push coming out from Mega and team. And it works out for them as Luxury has been wiped off. And this is going to continue to stay in the hands for Apora for their cash. And again, Space Station Gaming now back on defense against Young Guns.
Yeah, Apora winning that is going to be critical. They're probably going to be able to secure that cash out on the other side of the map. SSG still has to lock theirs down for another 30 seconds against this team, Young Guns. But the approach is going to be quite difficult. C4 on that point going to make it stall. The high ground being contested right now as we speak. Normalized. Lamp dropping down, buying their time. Oh, surfboard of a drop comes out. A winch pulling him right off that butt. Great headshot melee. Gonna have to go for it right here. Finds a little crevice and sticks the steel. Will he have enough HP to stick it? But no, gets taken down by Grad. Normalized gets the res on Lamp, and it looks like the Young Guns are gonna get taken out by SSG. Great reset from them.
I'm not gonna lie, missing the shot, but still getting the wench in enough time for your team to come in. Pretty damn impressive for Young Guns, but unfortunately it doesn't work out for them in the end. Space Station Gaming still just outplays them. And now S2 and Gang looking to try and push up, but they are getting pushed back. And I believe that was Space Station Gaming, who is currently also fighting Apora in this one. S2 is now looking to join the fight, jumping right in between everyone. And able to keep his team up. Sacred last one alive for Apora and gets spotted. Runs from one player to the other from Luxury. Unfortunately getting pinched and taken out. Apora again getting taken out of this one. And now Luxury spotting all different players from Space Station Gaming, trying to put some damage down, but instead it's Aguilar who's taking the damage. Just got his health back. And Space Station Gaming doing a good job spreading out and playing a little bit slower and forcing Luxury to make the first move.
Yeah, and these poke fights coming out, the FAMAS in hand. It'll be a great long-range weapon, consistent damage, going to be able to pump down, but Normalized Grad going to take some damage as we see Young Guns padding over with Vault 3, crossing close paths, maybe going 4C, but diverting ultimately to the other cache, it looks like.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to change things up. I mean, at this point, again, we've already seen Space Station Gaming dominating. Do you really want to just keep bashing your head against a brick wall, or do you want to actually finally walk around it, go a different direction, and see what you could do with it? And see what happens with Luxury. But on the other side, Young Guns are just slowly getting deleted by Ape Aura, so it's not even going to matter.
And I love this play from SSG, but it may end up costing them if nothing happens in this fight, doesn't break out as they planned, because Young Guns being taken out almost. There we go. Sacred taking out Tiger, now going to afford them the plug, and SSG has to fight against the grain to get this vault into C. Lamp going to be pushing up close to Luxury. Going to be looking for a big RPG. He may have been spotted, but they turn around right at the wrong time. And Lamp now going to take an RPG of himself, half HP, fighting a light, going to hit that SA-12 shots cleanly. And it looks like S2 Gaming, last one left for his team. The cash vault so far away forces Young Guns to spawn right on top of it. Going to be pressuring SSG again. 3 teams on this vault, while Abor is sitting pretty on the other side of the map.
You know, for a big guy, Lamp did a good job as a heavy to be able to sneak around, but unfortunately, like you said, the timing has just been a little bit rough as we do have 3 teams now fighting this one out. Tiger looking to try to put any damage down he can, but he's getting poked on the back from another Space Station player. Luxury also just doing everything they can to stay alive as S2 is down. Byron looking to actually they're actually going for the steal right now, going straight to it. Sino just doesn't care. He goes in. He's able to steal this one. It's a little bit early. He's still got about a minute and a half with that cash out. But with everyone slowly trying to kite each other around, it just allowed Luxury to walk right in and take that money.
Yeah, I'm not sure what SSG is going to do. Not having the time to set up this point is very dangerous.
Yoink.
Looks like Lamp is making his way from the other side of the map, but Ruby Labubu hitting a clean winch on Byron, taking him out. Where they're going for this point, not knowing at all where Luxury is, but they do know one player is down on their team. Gonna go in for the flip. Will they be able to stop this invis blocking line of sight just for moments as S2 Jamie takes some big damage? Here comes SSG though, coming back in, making a trick play. Looked like they were gonna go for Ape Aura on the 3v3, but ultimately coming back in. We see Lamp sticking this point, the goo blocking all the line of sights. Look how much setup is right around that point. Barricaded, 4 goos, 5 goos set up right there, protecting him as they get that steal. And now going in to go for those kills.
Yeah, Ruby Labubu trying his best to stay alive under everyone in the stands, but it just did not work out for him. He gets picked as his teammates actually use coin to come back. So now it's going to be an all-way fight for this cash. It's still in the possession of Space Station Gaming, and more than likely will stay in the possession to close it out. But Young Guns is looking to go down swinging if they have to. Nice goo coming out, stopping from stealing, but right as that all happens, Ape Aura comes in, tries to put some damage down. Sure, Space Station Game is eliminated, but they were the ones who took that money.
That wipe could be pretty good. It does close things down, but there's going to be no time to get a tap, get a steal, or anything. Get enough kills for this. It's coming down to the wire, unfortunately. Coming down so close. You see that only a few kills away from SSG's tail. Ape Aura are going to take out second place with SSG. First place yet again. Huge.
Yeah, big plays. I mean, that was a huge play at the end there. SSG won. We thought they were going to go for a team versus team and then turn around, came straight to the stage, and was like, I am here to put on a show, play that third party. Again, we saw Ruby Labubu just hiding under the stands, trying to stay alive, but it just did not work out for them. SSG was just putting so much pressure as a third party team.
Yeah, SSG cleaning house. Honestly, we can even see them through walls, and we thought they were going to the other point. Ultimately, playing that point, like you said, I do like the analogy you got there, an amphitheater laying down a show. So great job for SSG taking out another W and going in to Sis Horizon for this next game. Gonna bring things to a little bit more of a mid-range, slow, speed things up. A lot more easy setups on this point, on this map. going to be very interesting to see how these teams set up, what pacing we get. We see pretty good pacing overall from both these cash outs. SSG took that point, slowed it down, understood that if it gets staggered, it could mean death for them on their first place adventure. So I do like the patience from them, bringing that point away and forcing the boxes to be plugged in near the same time.
Yeah, and we haven't really been talking about in these matches the actual picks by the teams. This second pick, I believe, was from Ape Aura for Sis Horizon. And so SSG did win their map pick. They were able to handle a Nozomi. They were able to win their map pick. And then we're going into Sis Horizon by Ape Aura's pick. Now, that's the beautiful thing about being the higher seed in these lobbies. It's, even if you can't 100% win all your games or do anything, the more points you can get out of it, the more you can kind of control the games before it even starts. So being able to win on your map pick and then start to play on other people's map picks, start to get into their mind game, because Sis Horizon is definitely a map that we have seen SSG time and time again take on some of the big names, even being able to put pressure on to bigger names like Envy, who did not look too good last match. But again, we have seen these teams time and time again putting so much pressure on each other. Right here, I remember Rio last week was saying this is one of the more balanced, competitive maps, and I would definitely agree with him. So would love to see if we get a bounce back from the other teams that were struggling from behind, or will Space Station Gaming just continue to dominate?
Yeah, I definitely agree. This is one of the more balanced maps in the game. The setups can be a little bit more volatile in this meta, forcing these cash boxes out at range, but it's nothing too crazy that we see on natural spawns. As this fight breaks out, Ruby Labubu getting taken out quickly by Lamps SA12. Big damage coming their way. Normalized now under fire, but Tiger going to be taken out by Grad. Grad's positioning is on peak today, dealing perfectly for his teams.
Yeah, and just like that, Young Guns, right off the bat, getting eliminated so quick. I mean, this that side looked more of like a matchmaking side, while over here, fighting between Ape Aura and Luxury, they are actually looking a little bit more like strategic pro players. And now the fights have officially started. S2 trying to put some damage down, but not able to connect his shots. And because of that, Luxury is now down one player. It's going to be a slow play for Luxury, as they're going to have to wait for Aguilar to respawn back in. They're not too far from either cash out, though. They can decide which way they want to go based off that spawn.
Yeah, Ape Aura is going to take this opportunity to get their plug as Aguilarcino is taken out. But on the other side of the map, we're going to see Young Guns make their approach to A. A is so far down. Not sure if it was winched down, dropped down from the Young Guns. And now a TP set up as an escape plan. Tiger taking an RPG, but Ruby Labubu not going to be able to get out of there, taking so much damage. That SA12 really showing its prowess in this fight. Lance gets a clean double kill as Normalize and Honor the Pure play this game of chicken on this cash out, but getting taken out by 3 team players, jumped out of that TP.
Now we do have Luxury trying to set up a push onto this bridge, but Ape Aura just not allowing them to get behind this cloud of goo. Decent damage coming out from S2, but it's still just not a really good position for them to push.
And look at this setup. Double goo, 1 horizontal and 1 on that bottom goo. Creating a great head glitch. Gonna go in on that damage. Sacred gonna get RPG taken out. Mega, half HP. That SA12 gonna look to clean up. The heals come out, but he loses it, missing some shots. But I don't think it's gonna be enough for Ape Aura as Draconi goes down, and 45 seconds left for the steal for Luxury. But Young Guns coming right in. Byron getting taken out. But the perfect third-party timing. Honor the Pure and Tiger goose-stalling each other as it gets dropped down. Not sure if Luxury has the opportunity to go for it, but this sledgehammer going to be great damage. Going to get winched off of it.
Home run.
As we still see Ape Aura in control of this cash out.
Yeah, no one was able to actually get that steal, but finally it's going to happen. Ruby Labubu, never mind. Ruby Labubu just took too long to get the eliminations and have everyone to show up. It's actually Space Station Gaming trying to get the steal on this one. They were able to get the first cash out but not in time were they able to get the second cash out. But still, getting the wipes, everyone is gone besides Lamp and Normalize.
Apor getting bailed out by Young Guns and then subsequently by SSG. Apor holding their hands together, saying a little prayer. Gotta move on to this next cash box.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it felt like every team started to scramble a little bit there at the end, but it still worked out for both teams that pretty much started the cash outs. So now, Young Guns were going to be the ones to tap the third vault. And I believe, Apora do touch vault number 4, but they are kind of trying to pick, I guess, go for picks on the other side, because I'm seeing damage going down, but I wasn't sure exactly who it was, but it doesn't matter. Great plays by Honor, being able to take out one, but getting shot from behind. Peaks again, but the wrong way. Unfortunately, a big mistake and a blunder right there, and that's going to make him go down, and just like that, it would look like a big swing back and forth as Luxury. Oh no, you got to protect your back when you're rezzing. Grad was able to spot one, but now we have Young Guns here. Tiger looking to try to put some work onto Space Station Gaming. He's being a little bit sneaky, but just like that, Brad finds him, takes him out of there, and it's going to be pretty much a free cash out for Apora for now until we see where the teams are going to spawn.
Yeah, and SSG's got a little bit of a hike, 180-meter hike across the map towards D. However, it's in a decent spot. We see Luxury spawn back in. Gonna be able to hold cash out D for this plug. A minute basically in through and through on cash out C, as SSG finally gets this plug and now are on a full frontal attack against Luxury.
Oh man, but Lamb gets the yoink, takes out one. Luxury is already down a man and has so many more people looking at them. It's all gonna come down to Senior, who was originally taken down. Did get res, but then got eliminated again, stacking the points up for Apora on the other side. Young Guns and Space Station taking the fight, but Ruby Labubu being out of this fight is going to make it very difficult for any sort of push.
Yeah, I think SSG might be thinking about a third party, but Tiger sees Draconi on the stairs. SSG coming over, looking for an opportunity to steal this. Great shot from Grad on to Mega. Is taken out, riding this cash out. They need to do something about this to stop it. They do get the flip, but get taken out right at the same moment. This is going to be an opportunity for Young Guns to take it from SSG, but no. The winch coming out, and SSG is going to hold it strong.
Yeah, no, this is huge. SSG plugged late. They were still able to steal the first plug, and now there's just a little bit less than a minute. SSG can decide to rotate back and go for their original plug that Luxury is currently holding. But as they go to rotate out, they're getting stopped by Apora. Apora being able to take down one. Lamp looking to get the res, and Apora still standing strong with all three of them. But Luxury, though, is kind of benefiting from all of this, even though, you know, Young Guns only have Honor alive. Apora sitting on the sideline. It's very interesting to see how the teams are cutting each other off, but it doesn't matter. Luxury just pretty much gets a free cash box.
Yeah, and SSG does not want this next point doubled. That should be their priority. I think they're in a great position to hold first place. Just needs a few kills to stop Apor from catching up if they do get this plug. But it looks like Young Guns stopping them on their way over for this plug. Gonna get a plug of their own, steal the cash box now. Vault 6 spawns 80 meters away. Could mean interesting position for one of these teams playing for first if they get a double.
It would be nice for them to get a double. Space Station Gaming looking for the 3P. Right now, Ruby Labubu on your screen, being able to get a good RPG out there, but being the sledgehammer has to get up into their faces. It's going to be a little difficult for them, as Apora is doing a really good job kiting back. Ruby Labubu looking to just back off with the rest of Young Guns. And as I say that, Tiger just gets freaking demolished by Apora. They already take down one. It looks like two is going to go down. Tiger is also taken down. So Ruby Labubu all by themselves, getting the one res, but they're completely out of position to play defense.
Yeah, and I do think the flip needs to come out now, because as soon as that 20 seconds is over, SSG is going to make their approach, come back over, and every team's going to be here. If a team wants to steal this cash out, it has to be now. Otherwise, I think Young Guns are going to have a great position. But as we say that, SSG making their way over, a Goostal coming out,
nice.
blocking that steal. And this is looking dangerous. We do hop back on it. A drop comes out.
SSG's
And we're just
here.
going to continue to hold it. It looks like Sacred just going to be the last one up. 40 seconds left. Not the worst position in the game. They will have 30 seconds coming in, but all those Pyromines going to create a little bit of a nuke on that, taking out Lamp. Ruby Labubu locking it down. And it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a last-second steal, if anything. Otherwise, Young Guns in a great position right now. 3 up, holding it down.
The Pyromines ended up working out really well for Ruby Labubu. Unfortunately, accidentally burns themselves down, but thankfully the teammates were there to get Ruby right back up. And so even though the steal was looking to possibly happen, Space Station Gaming forced to play a little bit slower here. They do want to try and force Young Guns to be in that last place, but it's not going to happen. There's not enough time. Everyone at this point is just playing a little bit of deathmatch as we are closing this one out. It's going to work out pretty well for Young Guns going up to second place, and Space Station Gaming now has a 3-peat.
Yeah, SSG back to back to back on this cash out group, knocking out Apor from getting second place. Apor gonna go for third on that, but because we saw the plug come in from Young Guns, they're in a great position to hold it down. Only had to really lock that point down for that swift 20 seconds after getting the plug, because as soon as that next cash box is out of play, every team's going to show up.
Can we talk about the fact that we have 23 kills out of Lamp and Grad? The two of them in the double digits. Again, we don't really see a lot of double digits. Sometimes we get one player to pop off, but for two of them to pop off as much as they did is incredible. SSG just pretty much controlled that entire game. They plugged a controller into the map and decided how everyone should play that match. So it's incredible work, Sonya.
I think it's really rare to see double digits come out from two players on a team. Typically, we see double digits just pop out, clean up those kills, do some great carrying on the kill front, holding things down for those teams. But, I mean, just dominant performance from SSG in that last map. Sis Horizon really proving to be their map. But, I mean, in this lobby, really just single-handedly taking it.
Yeah, and now we're going to be moving on into Vegas. Again, another one of those flat maps. I feel like we went from Sis Horizon to Vegas, which have very similar style gameplay in reality, with a little bit more height coming into Vegas, and then, of course, the big dome above to really change how the middle side will work, how the street will work. It would be kind of interesting to see if any player or any teams are going to be playing that more controlling, constructive style play here on Vegas. It's one of those maps where you can really do that. You can really kind of force players and kite them around how you want to get them in Vegas. I feel like it's the easiest map to do it, at least.
Yeah, exactly. I do think Vegas, like you said, that top dome offering some great long line of sights. But I think we're going to still see Lamp running that SA-12 for this match. As we go in, Cash Out 2, Vault 2, going to be fought between Ape Aura and the Young Gun.
And the touch already coming in from Ruby Labubu, starting that Vault. But being the sledgehammer, he really can't do much until the teams officially make the push. So Honor and the rest of them doing a good job, just kind of staggering themselves a little bit to try to catch off Mega and the rest of Ape Aura as they go in. Luxury already eliminated by Space Station Gaming, and we get the fight coming in here as Young Guns already have one down. Ruby Labubu just barely staying alive here, but getting chased down by Mega, getting taken out. It's all down to Tiger by themselves. Tiger does get the res. He's able to get Honor in, and they're looking to push back in towards Ape. And maybe, just maybe, get back and get their cash. But no, they're going to go for a quick reset. Definitely the play they want to do. And a good play by Honor, being able to spot the moving of the vault Tiger able to come back in and work that one out. So it is a two-man switch right there. Sacred last one. It doesn't matter that one of the players go down because Young Guns, even though it looked like they lost that fight, it ended up working out for them nicely. But as they do that, Luxury right nearby looking to stop the plug from happening.
Yeah, Luxury coming in. I did like the way Young Guns played that resetting, but going into this fight in SA12 in front of a Sledgehammer, not going to be something you want to face up against if you're Luxury. Swinging that fight, great, just sweeping through Young Guns one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back and forth. Luxury just trying to find anything to do in this match. Instantly getting eliminated twice as a team. It's going to be a rough start for them if this is what they're up against for the rest of them. But already, Space Station Gaming having half of their cash out pretty much done. And now, Ape Aura playing from underneath, trying to find their way to make a move. Sacred looking to potentially drop this one down. Gonna C4-1. No. Okay, lining up a little bit better. There we go. C4 this one down, and then use the RPG to bring it all the way down. So it gets them into a decent position, but again, you do have Space Station Gaming you are going up against. You have to be ready for them. They're creating as much defense as possible, but so much explosions have come down. Space Station Gaming it just destroys all of the protection that Ape Aura tried to do. They are able to move the cash out, and here they come. Space Station Gaming looking to make a push. Gets the goo down to deny the steal, but Sacred is not missing any shots. Mega was able to clean out one of them, but Sacred takes out two, but unfortunately ran out of time. It didn't work out for them. Space Station Gaming takes the first cash out.
Yeah, and that's sometimes all you need to do. Just delay the steal as long as possible. Doesn't matter if you get wiped. Honestly, it's better if you get wiped before the cash out even goes through, because then you lose less, especially on this first cash out. SSG going to be sitting pretty. Not too many kills on their front, but winning a cash out, that's going to set the pace and set the tone for this match. And on the other side, it looks like Young Guns going to be pretty close to securing a cash out of their own.
Working out pretty well for them. They got to be ready for the rotation because we'll have to see where the next vault is going to spawn. Space Station Gaming already lining themselves up for potentially vault number 4. The cash does go to Young Guns, and there it is, vault number 4 up on top of the dome. And just like I said, Young Guns have to be careful because Space Station Gaming is already prepared for it. And just like that, as they were going up for it, Space Station Gaming set themselves up with a little surprise for Young Guns. And Ruby Labubu running for his life. And again, the Sledgehammer cannot charge and slam, cannot get up into their faces quickly. And Ruby Labubu just slowly but surely getting hunted down by Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, and SSG wants that wipe. They want to slow them down, recoup a little bit of pace, equalize things, as this next plug is going to really just bring them ahead of Young Guns for cash out 2. Ape Aura already decisively plugging that point. These points are going to be extremely staggered going into this next fight. We have Luxury sitting up on this high ground, already down one man. Lamp looking to stop that regen with the SA-12 from the range, and Drac picking off S2 Gaming. Aguilar going to coin back in and try and regroup with his team Luxury as Ape Aura postures up on this high ground. Tries to keep SSG away. I do think this is a smart move. Seeing how SSG has third-partied on these staggers, smart to keep them at bay, try and recoup this high ground. Here they come. Lamp making his approach, sitting tight with Brad. Normalized looks for that plug and did eventually get it, but now everyone's coming in.
Yeah, this is a big play by Space Station Gaming. Again, they do this over and over again, where they plug one in, get a little bit of that cash, and then run over. Since it's so staggered, they know they'll have time to go back in. They are so confident in their own gameplay that they can afford to lose the cash out that they plug and then come flying in. But Byron, he's doing a really good job. They're able to get the cash for Luxury, and I don't think it's going to be enough time for SSG to get this steal. Tries to get the wedge, but he went to the wrong person. Still worked out, able to get the kill. So SSG gets denied. So they're not going to be able to steal this cash, and they now have to fight back and take back their cash against Young Guns.
Yeah, I mean, SSG, perfect timing, but this is the risk that you take, and now they could be in a pretty bad position for this final cash out. Ultimately, they have to choose between going back over, third-partying Young Guns, or contesting that point, or just going for the final plug. This could spell a second-place finish if they aren't able to capitalize on this. It's setting up for that, in my opinion. But as they go in, they're going to pressure the other point as we see Luxury go in for the plug.
Yeah, Apor just getting destroyed on the other side because not only is Young Guns trying to play on defense, but Space Station Gaming came in and played that third party really well. They played it slow, meticulously, and now they're trying to get the steal. All of the goo trying to get denied, but it's not going to matter because Young Guns is not in a position to try and stop that one. They're going to actually potentially have to rotate. A little bit of a stagger here as Honor is by himself. He has the rest of his team shooting from afar, but it's not going to be enough for them to do anything against Space Station Gaming. Although Space Station was not able to steal that first cash out, they were able to go back and get their cash out they originally plugged in. So now it's going to come down to this one. We have 1:30 left on the clock with a +3, of course. Now it's going to be whether or not Young Guns is going to be able to plug this one in or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure what SSG is going to do. If they're going to just continue looking for that first place, or they're going to hold this point. It looks like Apor is stealing that point and does get it. And now this is exactly what SSG wants. They're going to try and deny this split and then most likely hold it for Apor if they want to be getting this guaranteed first. But Luxury is going to have to put in a big word with Apor right now as the fight breaks out. S2J, last one up. Looks like Mega's going to look for the reset on New Draconi. And Apor now stabilizing, in control of Cash Out B. A reset.
It's very important for them to do that and not go for the chase. Make sure that your entire team is back up, because again, you don't know if another team is going to come running in. And there it is. The plug comes in from Young Guns. They're going to look to try to take this first place. And mind you, there was something I didn't really mention about earlier, but even though Team Envy struggled that last match, they're currently, once we get all the points up, but from that last match, they were still sitting in second place in the overall leaderboard because their first week, they went 5 times in a row first place. So this would be huge for Space Station to also do the same thing. If they can go 5 times first place, they can set themselves up very pretty to even have an off week next week. So this is important for them to make their move here.
Yeah, and honestly, this is literally anyone's game. A stolen by anyone means a first place. All the marbles in the hands of Young Guns. Similar to the last map, Young Guns in control of the last cash out. Very good position if you are them, holding down A. Every team's here gonna break out into a big fight as Apor and SSG find themselves in a little bit of a scramble. Both teams recognize it's not the time and place to fight these kind of fights. They need to go for the steal. Both of them kind of back off and reset. We see it still coming out. Not sure if anything's going to come out in this chaos. Mega holding his point. A winch comes out and it stops from Luxury. And now Luxury's going for it. Last second, SSG does not want this to happen. Going to be going in for themselves. But Byron going to be taken off by a goose steal. That winch really putting a wrench in the plan of Apor. Luxury stopping everyone from taking it. Securing themselves a last place, unable to take it. SSG takes second, and Young Guns taking the first place on Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was a big play for Young Guns. I mean, we saw a campfire at the end there. It was just so much goo. One of them went on fire, and then from then on, it was just a big campfire. It didn't matter who was there. No one was going to get that steal. Way too much damage was going down at that point, but big plays by Young Guns, being able to turn that one around. Nicely done for them. I mean, they were third place 2 matches in a row, second place for another match, and now they were able to get first place. So they're doing a really good job. Unfortunately for Luxury, though, that would have been very big for them to get that steal, because they did, even though they got second place in that first map, 2 maps in a row they went 4th place. So this is the 3rd map in the row now that Luxury came in 4th place. This is one of those moments, Soyo, where it can get a little scary because you're not really collecting a lot of points. And again, this is also towards the overall leaderboard. It's not just who you're playing against. You're kind of just getting defended by the other 3 players for the overall competition.
Yeah, exactly. And this is going to be a little bit of a toss-up for this final match. Obviously, SSG being so dominant overall, they're looking pretty good, lining themselves up for 4 wins in this cash-out lobby. We do have one final map. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Monaco, really changing things up. May push Lamp off that SA-12 and onto the BFR. As such is these head glitches coming up on Monaco.
Yeah, I would even love to see that. And again, it's one of those things that we talked about, the meta, being able to recognize the map that you have to be on and then what weapons work best with what the situation you have. Again, but it's one of those things where we're talking about how Lamp may have to make a change. But SSG still, even though they took a 2nd place there, they still have majority of the wins. It's more about what are Young Guns going to do? What are they going to do to be able to get a 2nd win and be able to jump those points? Because Young Guns and Luxury are the 2 that are kind of battling it down in the bottom. Luxury currently bottom of the leaderboard. So this is going to be big. They need to make a change right here, right now, Monaco.
Yeah, we may see that SA-12 come back out. Lamp's been using it in combination with that goo to force people in close in these last-second cash-out steals, pumping out that burst damage. Only time will tell. Not sure if it's going to be the play on Monaco. But on this Vault 2, we see Luxury and Apor duke it out for the opportunity to get this tap, get this plug. Generally thought of as a better spawn from Apor, getting on control of this green roof. But Luxury making good headway for getting churched. Great positioning from them as Apor going to lock down this point. They may have a gateway on it to rotate quickly.
Sacred just putting so much damage downrange and just not allowing Luxury to do anything to try to get anywhere close to that vault. Working out really nicely. Udrakoni is going to be setting up to try to port this box out of here. Oh, the tree instead gets in the way. There we go. Oh, wait, did he?
Now that gateway's going to go very far, unfortunately.
That gate did not go far.
He went a little bit too far away, I think, initially. Broke his own gateway, and then had a little bit of a hiccup, a run-in with a tree. We see multiple teams looking to go plug B, but it looks like Apor might get there first because Young Guns under heavy pressure from SSG as they rotate over. Now, if they want, gonna have to rotate all the way back across this map to split this plug. We'll see if the double happens. And it does. A double does happen. B in control of Apor.
Hey, I mean, you know what? We got to start changing things up, especially for teams like Luxury and for Young Guns. Young Guns being able to win their last map, but like at this point, like the change up is going to be a big deal. And it's going to be very important to try and start with a bigger lead, especially because the difference between cash outs 1 and 2, how many points they're going to get. So a lot of defense going in now. Young Guns are looking to try to steal this one. A lot of confusion coming in as a lot of explosions are trying to take advantage of being that heavy, but it just did not work out for Ruby Labubu. Ruby Labubu, though, trying to put some damage down, trying to stop anyone from coming at him with barely any health, just swatting away like chasing flies in a room, but it doesn't work out for him, unfortunately, and the cash is still going to be in the Apor hands.
Yeah, I do like that escape gateway for Ruby Labubu. That play is very well executed. Unfortunately, we saw SSG come in and put rain on their parade, get a big RPG, take them out. But now, SSG normalized, finding a connection, and then getting winched in. He uses that goo as an escape. Very clinical. Lamp now, finding some damage, making his escape. But all Apor needs to do is hold this point.
And you did see if Lamp was going to switch to the BFR. That's exactly what he did. He's here with the BFR. And trying his best now to try to find anyone. Just missing that shot, but then able to connect. The wench miss, and then the connect for Lamp instead, but somehow Sacred's still alive, trying to get out of there. jumps away from one team and runs between the other team. Somehow Sacred is still alive, even though he went right between Young Guns, who did in fact steal that one last second, and it's looking like it's going to be their cash.
Yeah, unfortunately for Abor, the engagement from SSG just came at the perfect time for Young Guns, really evening things up there. That sledgehammer on Monaco. That's exactly the kind of scenario you want, forcing everyone in. We're going to hit an emote for the stream. He knows he's scaring him away with that sledgehammer on Monaco, to say the least.
God, the PM coming out, I love it, especially with the sledgehammer. It's a hard weapon to really be good at in these pro lobbies. Again, you have to be up in front of these people and not be scared of anyone, and really, really determined on your team to get the heals, especially the medium, being able to keep that heal on you the whole time while you're just swinging away with a big spoon. But Space Station Gaming will be the first one to touch Vault number 4 and looking to also touch Vault number 3. Maybe Space Station Gaming is going to look to try to double up again. Who knows? We do hear a lot of pinging going on. It looks like they're going to play on defense. That is a Aura on cash out A. But we could potentially see this go the other way, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to make much headway quickly on this map. With everyone's such range right here, and the cash outs positioned on the opposite side of the vaults, it's going to be very, very difficult. But Lamp making his move with that cash out, approaching cash out C on the other side of the map. Nobody's looking to cash out on 3.
What is going on? Guys, there's another vault. What? Guys, there's another vault. Why are we fighting each other on the roofs? What is going on? Space Station Gaming can't seem to find any direction to go with this vault. They're the only ones who are actually trying to play objective. Everyone else is just being a nuisance right now. We do see Luxury trying to rotate. Finally, that goes in, but it wasn't working out for Space Station Gaming. They were not able to be the ones to plug out. They were going for C, but it didn't work out for them. We did see Ruby Labubu try to stop the plug from Aura, but instead they still got the plug and took out Ruby Labubu. So Honor is by himself on Young Guns. Speaking of by themselves, Lamp is by himself on the other side, trying to take on pretty much all of the rest of Luxury that's there. He's going to get his team back up and look to fight to get that money back, because Luxury does steal A. Honor finally found and taken out Ruby Labubu and Tiger just on their spawn coming back. So now they have all of Ape Aura trying to hunt them down, try to eliminate them as quick as possible. Space Station Gaming playing on that defense, and Luxury looking to make the push right now.
And with Draconi up here, those head glitches are not safe. We have Young Guns playing a little bit towards their strengths as well with that sledgehammer. Going to make their way towards C. Drax still a little bit distracted from this fight that's breaking out on the other side, but Normalize looking for a reset as Luxury also has 2 up and ends up stealing that point. We're going for a reset. 3 versus 3 right now. Not a pretty situation, but a pad invis.
Oh, this is big.
Goes out there right on top of Grab. They don't see him. What are they playing on 60 FOV?
Yeah, unfortunately they landed on me, which is being a sneaky little beaver. It was a big brain play coming out of them, but unfortunately not seeing Grad there just completely threw everything off. Space Station Gaming, who probably should have lost that fight, ends up winning that one. They're going to get the steal, and speaking of steal, Young Guns is getting a steal on C, and there's not really a lot of time for anyone else to come in and do any work. And Draconi trying to get some picks, but unfortunately the rest of his team is just not there to set up and get the steal back. That's going to be a cash out for Young Guns, who takes first place, and then a cash out for Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, this pacing is honestly baffling from this entire match. We have a minute left for this final vault to be tapped and plugged in. What will Young Guns do to kind of keep their lead going in this match? They may look to stall one of these cash, as Abor is now getting the tap on 5 and looking to make their plug. Where is the closest cash out for them? The eyes, the sights are set onto Delta, but Young Guns also knows this as well. Gonna try and keep it out.
It's going to be very important for Young Guns to be able to take this first place as well. They are trying to push up into that top 4 group for Saturday. I don't think it's going to be enough no matter what, but it'll be nice to set themselves up at least for week 3. Put as much damage down onto the leaderboards as much as possible. So Young Guns doing a good job holding this lead. And now, even though Ape Aura did get the plug-in, it's Young Guns again who are going to steal that one. SSG and Young Guns, first and second place, both having the cash out, and it's not going to be pretty for either Ape Aura or Luxury to try to make this push. They have 2 very dominating teams holding out on defense.
Yeah, and I think Ape Aura is making the proper move. Let Young Guns take their first place. It really forces SSG to make a decision whether or not they want to go for that first place or just hold on for dear life to second place. Ape Aura knows everyone's going to be fighting over B for second place. I don't think Luxury has any opportunity to get second place. Even if they were to get the steal, they need to play for third currently. Be breaking out this fight. Byron taken out by Mega with that FAMAS. It's not looking good for Luxury as Aguilar Cena, the last one up. And Ape Aura looking to make their approach. Lamp sitting back there, and they find Normalize. Winch does connect on the boomerang back, but Normalize using that goo to make an escape. Gets caught up a little bit. There's only 8 seconds left. We do see a stick from Sacred. He needs to hold it, but a winch comes out, and SSG secures their second place in this match. Young Guns taking first place for 2 games in a row.
SSG 3 games in a row, Young Guns 2 games in a row. Both really dominating performances out of both teams. And even though SSG was not able to take all 5 games, they were able to get second place in both the games they had to at least close out in. Young Guns doing a good job. They had a bit of a shaky start and then just came out guns blazing towards the second half of this match. Unfortunately for Luxury, just not really the best show that they want to be putting on. Byron with the big goose egg, that is going to be a bit of a rough one for Luxury. Again, they have been sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. This was their time to be able to bounce back as they were taking on some teams that were lower in the leaderboards, but it still works out really nicely for Space Station Gaming and Young Guns, both looking pretty balanced out in damage and support and everything there.
Yeah, the lobby looks pretty balanced. We did see a little bit of a shakeup from that 4th place team, not having too much combat on the board. But overall, every map was relatively close in terms of kills. I feel like we did see SSG really pop off on that Sis Horizon game, really shining out, kind of capping off their 3-game win streak, doing relatively well in those final 2 matches as well. So I think, if I had to call it right now, I think SSG coming out on top in that group, and Young Guns would be my guess of that second place position.
Yeah, I mean, after that one, Young Guns are going to definitely be jumping up. SSG, I think, is still fighting to hold on to that first place. Hold on into the first top half match. It's going to be very important for them out of this one. Good results coming out of SSG. But with that being said, we do have to make a quick shout out to our sponsor, Crash. Thank you again for supporting PHL. It's very amazing to have members coming out here and doing everything they can to make sure that dreams come true for all of us, whether we're here in the production or for the players. It's very awesome to have people like Crash. Thank you again to him. But with that, we are going to take a break, and we are going to have one more match for tonight. It's going to be a doozy of a match because we got teams all over the leaderboard from the middle to the bottom looking to dig their way out of the graveyard. So, folks, don't go too far. We'll be right back with more action after this.
Welcome back to Pro Hub's Season 2 Playday NA number 3. We got Group C coming up for you. We got some great teams in this group, some great matchups sure to happen, and we got our map bans in randomized. Are you ready for these games?
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this one. I even saw some KCP people in the chat, saw their names in there, so I know we do have some representation from the organization showing up, and that's always special. It's one of the things, honestly, son. We didn't really mention it earlier, but I do love the fact that we have so many signed teams here in PHL. I think we had about nine signed teams out of the 12, so it's really insane to see that. But yeah, we have some big names here: Pioneers, Blue, Pulsar Blue, Task Managers, and Diminish. As you can see, the map picks again. We start with Nozomi, Pioneers picking Bernal, Pulsar Blue picking Fortune, and then we go into Sis and Monaco again. So it's kind of sort of the same maps you've seen, just a little bit shuffled in the middle there.
Yeah, and I definitely do think these players tend to favor these maps. A lot of maps that we don't see would be Seoul, probably the least picked map. Even without seeing the statistics, I can tell you that's probably the least picked map. It's a very volatile map. The changes do make it a little bit better, but we're going into Nozomi Citadel, a relatively new map. I'm excited to see how every one of these teams adapt. We saw Lamp play SA12 on these maps, regardless of the perceived meta from other players. Will other players be following suit, or will they be going with the BFR? Time will tell. It looks like Llama's rocking the BFR, that's for sure, though. And on Vault 2, Diminish versus Pioneers.
It tears. It's such a good gun, so why not? Look at that. One shot, Llama already putting so much damage down onto Bubba. And putting more damage down on even to Belize. So right there, Pioneers taking on Diminish, and Diminish is looking to be struggling a little bit. Belize is going to be making a push in, but Llama is able to stop them, get the wench, and get the shot off. Belize is out of here. So, and then one more to go as well. Bubba's the last one alive for Diminish. They do drop down, and it looks like Llama is going to maybe go for that chase. Not sure if Bubba's going to be able to stay alive, but that's going to be Pioneers running away with Vault number 2.
Yeah, Pioneers now sitting pretty. It looks like Bubba did jump off the edge. Doesn't want to waste any coins for his team or waste time resetting. Thinks it's going to be about the same time just to coin to respawn back in. On the other side of the map, we still have that fight kind of breaking out, but it looks like Pulsar Blue did get the plug on that side.
Yeah, it's going to be good for Pulsar Blue to be able to do that. Task Managers already have lost one of their players. Dicron and Metro both being able to get their health back. So it's going to be pretty much a reset match for Task Managers to try and take on Pulsar Blue.
I don't know if anyone saw that spawn, but it looked like Diminish spawned right on this cash out for a third party. Interesting. Not sure why that would have happened. The logic typically doesn't work that way, but nonetheless, 3 teams on Cash Out A currently. Task Managers, Diminish, and Pulsar Blue. Pulsar Blue making their escape around, kiting away, trying to stay safe. Not sure if they know of the impending doom coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, you already have one team in your face. You do again see Pulsar Blue, like you said, kiting around, trying to find a position to spot anyone to go and steal this first one here, Cash Out A. But again, Diminish is just waiting there in the dark, looking for any of their prey to make their first move. Pioneers, though, gets a free ride at this point. You know, might as well enjoy the view while you can. And just like that, Wade is able to spot one of the Pulsar Blue. Sparrow tries to run away and stay alive. Does not work out for them. Diminish already moving on into the point, looking to even try to go for the steal. They know they don't have a lot of it at a time. But now it's a full-out brawl here on here. Wade trying his best to stop anyone from getting anywhere close. They're able to take out Servati and knows there's still another player making a push. I don't know how he's staying alive, but Cafaneo taken down. But both players on top of the cash, it's starting to work out really well for Pulsar Blue. They're able to delay everything, and it works out. They get the cash. It doesn't even matter for Task Managers. Unfortunately, Wade, who just slayed out of his mind, didn't get to reap the rewards.
Yeah, that third party played so well from Pulsar Blue. Going in 1 by 1, we did see Sparrow kind of buy some time, draw task managers away, but then we saw Servati drop down, get the stall as collapse on everybody. Interesting to say, we do see a turret on task managers. Not sure what their thought process behind this is. It did get a little bit of tickle damage on that last fight, but didn't really swing anything in their favor. I think that was more of Wade dashing around, getting some great beams, winning them some momentum in that fight, but ultimately Pulsar Blue did get that. But now we see KCP Pioneers making their way in for the plug, tries to make the bank shot, doesn't make it, but eventually sinks it, playing basketball in this game up with the vault and cash out.
I love how these guys play basketball in this game. I mean, sometimes you even see players as they're running over, they start dribbling. Oh, but Llama being able to spot Belize and take him out, that's just going to leave Cafaneo by himself over and diminished. And he's pretty close to Pulsar Blue, so he's got to be careful to play his life smart here. On the other side, Llama now and the rest of KC Pioneers are getting attacked by task managers. You see Metro do a little tap, try to do a fake steal, bait him out, but it's not really working out that perfectly. He can't see through the smoke. He can't put any damage down. Wade is by himself as Metro is going to try and get Dikron up. But as he's trying to do that, hello, surprise from Pioneers coming in out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that's going to be some damage coming the way of Llama. Llama going to get traded out by Wade. Great trades, but unfortunately just Wade up left for his team. No turret going to be there to help him out as he looks to reset. Maybe looking for a pick, but honestly, a body would be better. Dikron coins back in, making his rotation, trying to regroup, but only a minute left on this cash out. Has to wait for Metro Boomin to walk in himself, but he does get back up. Unusual composition from Dikron. Breach drill, turret, mines. Look, I mean, let's see if he can make it work here. He does use that breach drill to bring it through. Now, this big hole gonna make some trouble. How is he gonna get this? He needs Metro to winch this over to bring that line of sight towards that turret. I do like this play. If you're gonna use a turret, use it to your advantage. Big damage coming out. That turret also shooting it down. It's working. Going for the steal. Big damage from Dikron. But the stealer gets taken out. Gonna go for that reset, and Fib instantly go back for that steal. It's just gonna be spawns left. Can't stop it. Turret clutching out. I'm gonna say it, folks. That turret really doing the damage there.
That was such a nice play by Dikron, getting Metro up, and by the timing of Pioneers to try to come down and go for the defensive play, Metro spawned in time, got right in front of Dikron, and with the turret and a big heavy guy in the way, it didn't matter. It worked out for task managers. Beautiful plays by them.
Honestly, I think I'm giving the turret too much credit, but it was pretty neat to see that play. We're going to be using that breach drill yet again to drop down this point. Doesn't want to walk up those stairs. A little bit of laziness coming from Dikron. He has the gadget, may as well make work of it. I think that's the best use that you can use for the breach drill. But on the other side of the map, the fight finally breaking out. We see Servati going to be taken out by Llama. That BFR going to be doing some big damage. And now chased down. Llama going to try and find the kill on the res. The re-kill coming out. SA-12 not going to be enough.
Son, I just want to point out really quickly that the scoreboard is practically even. No one really has a dominating lead. This is actually a really balanced fight out of all the players.
Yeah, I do think so as well. We haven't seen many third parties, if at all, either. So everyone's been kind of winning in their own right. No cheese coming out from this match thus far. But as this match progresses into its final push, will we see some shenanigans come out? We're going to see a plug come in from Team Diminish. Going to bring them forward into a first place position. But Task Manager is going to have to get a plug of their own to capitalize. There we go. KCP looking to dominate this round.
Yeah, even though Pulsar is in fourth place, they're not down by much. They can still look to turn this match around as we were closing it out a little bit. In about a minute and a half. Ooh, but small picks coming out. Pioneer is over Brendy by himself right now is going to have to look to go for a res. Task managers now looking to take the steal, taking advantage of Pioneers being a little bit weak on the defensive end, but they also do have Pulsar Blue over here. If I'm correct, Diminish is kind of just hanging out on their own.
Yeah, I think Diminish is going to sit tight, play for their point. Honestly, if they do have time, they may send someone over. If they do realize everyone's on the other side of the map, they might send their light over for those kills, trying to get some extra kill points to finish off in this lobby to come out on first. But it looks like KCP looking to take a 3v3 against Diminish. This could be the game-deciding fight. Enough kills, if they do go out, will swing the favor for either of these teams. $1,000 would go to those who steal as well.
Llama just could not connect that RPG, but that did force the rest of Diminish to kite a little bit farther away. They know there's some impending doom coming in. They are going to try to get the steal, and every time they go to steal, the floors or the carpet just being ripped out from under their feet. Llama doing a good job getting that wench onto Police. Police is still doing his best to try to stay alive, taking advantage of his bubble shield, but unfortunately still just getting double teamed and taken out there. But now Llama's not in a position to help out his teammate. He could not get up there, still trying to find his way to help. He is forced to grab onto this. I don't even think he has enough time. He's going to just have to take out Cafaneo. So that will be a team wipe, but Diminish is the one who walks away with that money. And it looks like if Pulsar can just hold on to it, I did say that they do have a chance to come back into this one, and look at that. They were in 4th place, and they go all the way up to 1st place.
Pulsar, that wipe was critical for Diminish. Would have been in 1st place had they not wiped. That money would have been so close to put them up on top. But wiping right at the pivotal moment brought them down to 2nd place. Luckily for them, they still did connect on that steal and get that, did connect on defending and get that 2nd place, but Pulsar Blue coming out with the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, literally on the skin of their teeth. I mean, they had to play offense. They had to go for the attack to get the kills, try to get the wipe, which was exactly the amount of cash they needed to, again, jump from 4th place to 1st place. I told you, son, the lobby was so even. It didn't matter that they were in last place. They played that so well at the end. The end game is so important in the finals, and they do it spectacular.
Yeah, that game was way too close to call going up into that last cash out. It was way too hard to predict, but we're going to be going into Bernal and Zombie Citadel. What a game. Bernal, will we see a little bit of a change of pace? Will these teams kind of break out, feeling each other out, gain some momentum? I'm curious to know if we'll see task managers Didkron run the breach drill, the turret, and mines. I'm not sure how that works out. They did make it work on that one point. Very well played, had the setup, but on that last point that they had, the turret almost got taken out instantly. I don't think it got much value.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? Everyone's running glitch grenades already. They're prepared for the bubble shields. So the fact that you're bringing in the turret, it can make it a little bit tricky to really optimize using that turret properly. But, I mean, I've seen some crazy turret plays. I've seen people being able to line up a turret in a very awkward position that no one could really spot that turret as soon as they go in and attack inside a room. So maybe he'll hold on to that. We'll have to see. Bernal I feel like it's a little bit of a difficult map for the turret to do any work. You really can't hide that turret to do too much. Maybe you can over at Small Park, but it's not going to be that easy to work with it. I would honestly be surprised if we do see the turret again, Soyo.
I do think that's a good point. There might be a change up, this being a little bit more of a longer range map, but he's sticking to his guns, turret in hand. I will say the breach drill could be a sleeper pick in the heal meta as kind of being that third gadget offering as a pseudo DMAC. Could be a sleeper pick. We'll have to see. Time will tell. I'm sure it's been tried. I mean, I may just be coming out of nowhere with that call, but overall, going in, and we'll see how it works for the task managers as they're going to fight up against the Pioneers.
There it
is.
is.
The turret.
He still has the breach charge in hand, so we'll have to see how he's going to work with it. But now, We already got a fight going on. Pioneers taking on Task Managers, and Wade doing such a good job with the LH1, just getting around, being able to put damage down onto anyone he spots, and he's able to take out Brendy, spotting his head last second. Looking to take out Spawns, does such a good job taking him out. And the last one to come up, unfortunately, Llama just comes in, gun to blazing. And he just spots the elbow and almost taking out Metro. Metro now has to put down the bubble, play a little bit more on the defensive end. The yoink coming in here, but it's an orange bubble instead, and a nice play by Llama, even though we saw some amazing plays coming out. Llama still doing a really good job being able to be the last man to stand, get his team back up, and start moving this vault.
Yeah, and Team Diminish also gets their right to plug the vault. Moving their way over to Beta. Gonna get this plug started right here, right now, as on the other side, I'm sure it's about to be plugged in as well. A little manipulation coming in from Belize, winching out into close to that pool. But Task Managers making their approach, using that CB1 repeater. Also another unusual pick without the sight. CB1 repeater, not an unusual pick, but no sight in sight. Unusual. It's gonna be rocking everything. I don't know.
I see what you did there, but yeah, no, the rock and iron sights, you know, just pure metal for your shots. It's not very common, but then again, I have seen people just relatively happy with it because it's not as much on your screen. You just have to point that little slim piece of metal at the opponents and put the shots on. Now reaching out the door and a bubble being put down, but still nothing really going to work out for Task Managers, as they do have Diminish right above them, looking to rotate around and get into a better position. They have the high ground, so Task Managers looks to make the steal, which they are going to start it now. We already see all the players dropping down in multiple angles. Really nicely done coming out from Diminish, being able to take out Metro. They're only looking for 2 more players. Wade, half of his health, and Dikron looking to reset this one. They are able to get Metro up, but it doesn't matter because Diminished is doing such a good job constantly delaying the steal.
Yeah, and it looks like Task Manager is going to set up for another winch play, forcing them in line outside that turret. And there it goes, 5 damage per hit. Gonna be amazing. Ooh, damage out, but Dikron taken out by his own mines, it looks like. Cafaneo shooting the mine, I'm not sure how, but not Bubba also cleaning up Wade and Calf, finishing out Metro Boomin. Not sure how he was able to kill him with his own mine, but moving on to the other side of the match, we're going to see Brendy going to be taken out by Sparrow. This could mean a last-second steal comes out, but we see Spawns in a great position. Bobo coming out with 1 HP. He does go in. They do get the res, though. This could be dangerous, but Spawns really popping off right now. Has a great opportunity. No winch in sight. Servati gets taken out, and Spawns clutches up.
Not even a 3K, a 4K. Being able to wipe the team, and because the res popped off, Spawns was still able to clean them up. Huge plays coming out of Spawns to be able to completely demolish Pulsar there. It did not matter what they did. Spawns had their number.
Yeah, I mean, Spawns was fighting an uphill battle and still made it out alive to tell the tale. Now we see Diminish gonna get their tap pretty far away from everyone else, but KCP on the rooftop making their approach to stop this plug, hold, cash out C. Still pretty even across the board from the top 2 teams. This could spell danger. The top 2 teams fighting it out for the right to plug this cash out.
Really curious to see what's going to happen if Pulsar Blue will be able to plug this one in. I mean, they're nowhere near it right now. They are currently taking on Task Managers, but will we see an even out lobby again? Big plays again coming out from Spawns. But over on the other side, we do have Task Managers taking on Pulsar Blue. Pulsar Blue still, Boo Boo barely staying alive. Task Managers trying to keep Metro alive, but unfortunately, just like that, Sparrow's able to find him, but the rest of his team is taking so much damage. He's got to get up there and help out his team. He's able to spot one, but it doesn't matter. Task Manager is doing such a good job rotating around each other, and just like that, they're able to take Pulsar Blue out. But as soon as they do that, Diminish spawns right on top of Task Managers.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about wiping a team right as another team spawns in. There's a 50-50 chance for them to spawn right on top of you yet again, basically causing a pseudo third party. It's very unfortunate with the spawn logic, but Metro Booming getting taken out, and now Dicron out in positioning. Gonna have to try and make his escape. Takes his zip line up. Not gonna be able to make it out there, but 1 HP does end up making it out. That's crazy. The steal is coming out from Diminished. Does get that, but Cafaneo taking big damage. Not Bubba gonna get taken out. Felice now under fire. Last one left. Great damage from Dicron and Not Wait That Mind. Finding the connection with Cafaneo. Diminished gonna get taken out, and Task Manager's gonna take this point back and win their cash out.
Yeah, it works out for them in the end. It didn't matter what was going to happen. Task Managers did a good job handling the situation. On the other side, Pioneers about to lose their cash out, looking to jump up and try to play the defensive end, try to put some damage down. They are able to take down the heavy, but it won't really matter because they still have to be able to win this fight. You do see Llama barely staying alive there, and the rest of his team able to come in and help him out. And just like that, Pioneers is able to swing the board and be able to stop the steal from happening. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't seem to actually be happening because Task Managers came in to play that late third party. But the problem is they're just stopping Pioneers from just getting their cash back.
Yeah, and this is a great play from Task Managers. This means that they will be close to the top of the leaderboard. Even if they don't get this, having Pulsar Blue win that is critical, but they end up taking it, and now they get a huge advantage in this game.
Yeah, this is very important for Task Managers to be able to turn the map around like that. Turn the tides in the way of their favor, because now we have a minute and a half left. One Volt in motion, the other one just spawning. So it looks like we may potentially have an all-out brawl for one cash out over at B. Bubba taking out two, looking to find the third, but Sparrow is not going to give it to him. He's running away. He's going to play his life, wait for his team to respawn, and then possibly go in for this last play here. Going to go in the hands of Diminish, but we'll see what's going to happen towards the end. Will Volt 6 be able to be plugged in?
It doesn't look like that vault is tapped on the other side. It may have... I can't see if it got tapped. Just did get tapped, but Task Manager's really making their attempt to hold that out. Brendy not going to be able to find the connection and ends up losing that. That is very detrimental for the lobby. Task Managers are in a great position to just take first place. All they need to do is look for kills, stop the kill race, and hold that point out. But on this side of the map, it looks like Diminish is making work of Pulsar Blue. If Pulsar Blue wanted to take this, that was their moment. They had a clean 3v3. Sparrow does find the connection on Cafaneo, but it's not going to be enough because Felice finds him with that SA-12 shot. Bubba looking for the reset and the res as we see Metro Boomin just holding this cash far away. Task Managers coming in for the kills.
Yeah, Task Managers doing a good job making sure that stays out of the play. Now we go into overtime. They won't have to worry about anything else coming up behind them because even if Diminish is able to catch this out, it still will not put them in first place unless they start to get a couple wipes going in. But Brendy has his eyes on Bubba. Bubba has to play that one back. Pioneers starting to try to make their move in. A lot of them are weak. And even as that's happening, we are starting to see this cash being wenched out over and over again. Brendy on the hands of the cash. He has to hold on to this one. He can't. He got stalled out by the goo. And just like that, it's going to work out. Task Managers first. Diminish following up in second.
Yeah, Task Managers coming out on top. Team Diminish put their fight for first right to the end, stalling that point out, guaranteed their second place point, but because of the wipe, they were unable to secure enough kills for that first place. Well done overall for that hold, winning out the pacing and coming in second, but Task Managers ultimately coming out on top. We do see some crazy kills, double digits come out from spawns, as we saw in that last match. That 1v4 was insane from Spawns, holding down that second point. Shout out to Spawns there.
Yeah, but even though it was awesome to see Spawns pull off that amazing, essentially 4v1, like we said, it didn't matter. KCP, third place. Again, 2 maps in a row being in third place. It really comes down to being able to finish out those cash outs, whereas Pulsar Blue and Task Managers basically flip positions. Task Managers doing a really good being on top, Diminish being able to follow into that second place. So Diminish 2 maps in a row being able to hold that second place is going to be giving them a good amount of points, whereas KCP, they're really going to need to start changing things up, especially because they already played on their map pick, which was Bernal, and now we're going to be moving on to Fortune Stadium. So this is where things are going to start changing up. We really need to start seeing KCP lock it in. They really show they have skill, but like, again, it doesn't matter how much skill one player can have. It matters how the team is going to work together to not only be able to either plug or steal the cash out, but be able to hold on to it to the end. It's so important, son.
Yeah, and I do think these lobbies are pretty well evenly matched in terms of the pacing of cash out. We do see the money really going down to the wire up until that last cash, being the deciding factor for these games, being separated just by a few kills in certain instances. But on Fortune Stadium, we're going to see maybe some of these teams continue their pacing towards it. We're going to need to see a little bit of change up from Pioneers. Like you said, everything's kind of going back and forth. Pioneers being steady at third place and Diminish also being steady at second place. But this will be the deciding match to gain momentum going into the final 2 games. So this is the map to watch out for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we are in the middle. We are in map 3. This is where things can start to change. You can start to build that momentum, like you said, and building that momentum will be as Llama is getting the first blood. Big plays as he takes out Bubba, sniping with the Titan. It's so nice to see. Literally, this gun came out, and everyone just instantly grabbed onto it and started doing damage left and right with it.
Yeah, I think the burst potential in this current meta is key. The range on that thing is also very insane. Being able to take out a light so quickly is very advantageous for a heavy. And I know in previous metas, it's been a little bit of a pain point to fight lights as a heavy. Just so much dashing around and capabilities, but having something in their arsenal is very useful. I know it's a little bit controversial with the BFR, whether or not it's loved or hated. I'm sure a lot of heavies do like it, though.
I mean, listen, BFR is a very high skill gun anyway, so you can love or hate it. You need to be able to point and click. It's very important because it is a one shot and the burst cycle is very slow compared to some other guns. So you cannot be missing those shots. And again, these players have been showing time and time again. We saw Llama sniping across from one building to another, being able to do some damage. And now, speaking of damage, Llama is taking damage, being able to turn around and Cavneo be able to take him out, but unfortunately being eliminated, and Spawns all by himself somehow still gets that kill with what, 2 HP, something like that.
Yeah, Spawns, always known as a shooter, really showing his colors in these cash out games. Gonna just wait for these coins, and on the other side of the map we see Pulsar Blue on the defensive. A gateway coming out from Way to rotate his team over on the underside. Honestly, I don't think this turret's going to be much use on offense, but we've seen Dicron make good use on it for the steal. That is key. Setting up all of his defenses, turret in hand to block this line of sight. Going in for the steal. Breach charge coming out. Gonna maybe hit, and does not hit the flashbang, but breaks the C4. Very interesting utility.
Yeah, it's smart to also pick up the turret, understanding that he's not really in the best position to do anything with it right now, but especially because a third party's coming in. Pioneers is taking on Pulsar Blue. Dicron somehow slipped past a couple people.
Yeah, I was about to say he walked right past, phasing right through them, it seems. But I think Pulsar Blue is in a great situation for this third party. They're positioned pretty well, and it looks like a fight might break out between Task Managers and KCP. Polestar Blue is very fortunate to see this happening. Everyone's distracted away from Cash Out Blue, not going to be able to go for that steal, as all they need to do is just sit there, buy their time, and stall out. But Llama going to get taken out, and Wade getting beamed by Brendy. Brendy fighting around this pole, using that burst damage to P90. He's just going to take the L on this fight, understands nothing is going to happen with everyone here.
One of the things I love about the finals is when everybody runs out of ammo, it just becomes a boxing match right in the middle. But Dicron, even though he's been able to pick off a lot of people, still finally gets eliminated. But it doesn't matter. Wade's still doing a really good job staying alive for his team and being able to find another player. And even though he was able to stay alive, Caches have gone through. And it's Pulsar and Diminish that are going to be taking the first two.
Yeah, and getting that wipe is pretty good. Gonna add a little bit of cherry on top, even though they didn't get the cash out themselves. But the beams from Spawn. Spawn is on one today. Holy. Taking out Wade from the range on that rotation over. Got Pulsar Blue also coming in towards this clinic building. Rotating all the way across the map, actually, and looking to contest 3 as Task Managers posture up on the point. Gonna get some damage out, but that damage is traded, and Metro Boomin gets taken out by that CD1 repeater. Brendy is definitely a shooter. I feel like Brendy has taken a liking to the CD1 repeater being a model main back in the day. This gun really fits his playstyle.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Essentially, you just need to make sure they're in the middle instead of, you know, somewhat sort of in the middle. It's working out really nicely for Brendy, just coming in, not being scared to run in front of people's faces and still stick the barrel in their mouth and pull the trigger. Nicely done by him. But Brendy getting damaged by Metro down low. Oh, Wade as well, looking to rotate around. And just like that, though, Metro was pushed in, got wenched in, and then eliminated. Wade doing a really good job getting up there, still being able to get the trades going back and forth. It's just down to Brendy. He's got 2 players coming at him, right down the barrel of Dicron, being able to do a good job, take him out, and that's still going to stay as Task Manager's cash. On the other side, though, we do see Pulsar, about a minute left on cash out, while Belize and the rest of Diminish are looking to make their push.
Yeah, no, definitely looks like a long rotation. Gonna use that pad gateway, quick rotate all the way over to C. Even though they spawned relatively close to the other point, now gonna have to wait out this bonfire. And as Pulsar Blue sitting literally right next to them, waiting to pounce on this steal. No goo. Finally comes a little bit of cover, but coming up from the high ground, a winch comes out, pulling him back down, but doesn't get taken down himself. Belize gonna die and get taken out. Bubba finding that reset on, as well as Bobo being taken out by Cafaneo. This might be the pick that they need to swing this fight. Their body does go down. 60 Sparrow needs to stall out this point, but Cafaneo right there waiting on that gateway.
Yeah, huge plays by Cafaneo. I mean, we were seeing trades back and forth, and Cafaneo able to put that much pressure onto Sparrow and put him in an awkward position. So the steal came in, they were able to get it. Task Manager is getting their cash back towards them, and then more than likely going to be able to close this one out. And Reddy starting to rotate towards the next vault, but they do have Diminished in front of them, so they have to be careful. Decisions are being made. You can see the players kind of rotating their heads around, trying to figure out which way they want to move as we are going into the final rotation of the vaults.
Yeah, and both of these vaults, this is a spawn I've seen time and time again. Not pretty handsome, because you have to make your way across from that hospital point all the way through 5, but this gateway gonna be offering an escape as Task Manager takes it, but they aren't out of the woods yet. They find Pulsar Blue on the other end of that gateway. Now gonna get taken out. Digcron and Metro Brewman gonna be Wade sitting back, waiting to see what happens, waiting for his team to coin back in. Second place in sight for them, but they still have work to do to finish this out.
It's not the worst thing right now for Task Managers. We know that as long as the cash is in the hands of 3rd or 4th place, which is Pulsar Blue, We know they're going to be able to plug that one in. Again, Task Managers not in the worst position. They're currently sitting in that second place. There's still about a minute of regulation time on the board, and we do see Diminish rotating over, maybe look to tag at least that Volt number 6, get a little bit of that extra cash. Now, Boo Boo working with his team to keep Pioneers out of this one. Boo Boo doing a good job putting some shots down range. The rest of his team has to back down, trying to reconnect with them. But as he goes to do that, he goes running right into Task Managers. We do have 3 complete different teams fighting this one out. Boo Boo doing his best to stay alive. And Sparrow is going to be the one that stays up on top, trying to get some picks out for his team. Boo Boo doing a really good job navigating through the stairs, trying to get up as quickly as he can and get his team up. But instead, he ends up running right into the lap of Pioneers, where they did get a res going off. And now we see even Pulsar trying to get involved in this one. It still comes in by Task Managers. They're looking to try to get into that first place. This would be very big for them to get those points in. And everyone slowly but surely setting themselves up. A little bit of fights going in between 2 different teams. At this point, you cannot trust your back against the wall, because the wall may disappear momentarily. Police taking advantage of the chaos, looking to try to get the steal. He does have Cafaneo not too far
So
to help
free.
defend him, but he was able to get that one in. Now, as he went to do that, he jumps right into other players, and Pioneers are now in position to try to get the steal, but they have Pulsar Blue coming up on the elevator, still able to keep his hands on it. No, it starts to drop down. It doesn't matter. 28 seconds left. It's coming all the way down to Spawns and Llama. We're going to try to get the steal. They are in 4th place. They really need to get this one, but so much damage is coming in. Spawns could not find who it was. It's still in the hands of Diminish. It's not going to matter. 15 seconds left on the clock. Everyone is everywhere. The scramble is crazy. It's more scramble than my eggs in the morning. It's not going to matter. Diminish is going to be able to close this one out and take first place.
Wow, that was a crazy back and forth. Swapped hands 3 times at least on that last cash out. Felice finding himself positioned for a clean free steal, taking it from everyone under their noses and gonna swipe away with that first place prize on Fortune Stadium.
What an insane last minute. I mean, we had a 4-way duel happening, but it was just one of those moments where it felt more, sorry to say it, but it really just felt more like a matchmaking lobby. People were just running around. People were just jumping up and down every time. There was so much panic kicking in. You saw how many times, and this happened to multiple teams, not even just one person, how many times someone would grab their teammate's trophy, go to res them, and run into another team where they just res someone else to get eliminated. So then that team who just eliminated them would lose one, grab the trophy, run into another room where another team was rezzing, and they would get eliminated. But no team ever got fully wiped. Everyone just kept trading kills and trading the cash out. It was just incredible for a last minute. There was just so much action going on. I don't even know how the hell I casted that, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely a Looney Tunes moment for sure.
Yeah.
Going back and forth. I think that's what you see with a lot of teams that know the macro of these third-party situations. Nobody really wants to commit too fully on one situation or one fight, because they know if they do get wiped, it substantially lowers their chances to winning that cash out. Fortunately for Diminished, the dust settled and they found a quiet moment alone with the cash out, and it was able to swoon it to their own side. But we're going over to Sis Horizon, taking full advantage of this amazing map. Will we see the first place just get tossed back and forth, as we've seen everyone going from Pulsar to Task Managers now to Diminish? We got 2 more maps left. Someone's got to win 2 games at least, so we'll see who it is.
Honestly, I'm loving this one, son. I'm loving how honestly, these lobbies are so balanced. Everyone is constantly trading back and forth, whether it's the win, whether it's the trades for getting kills, whether it's the trades of the cash box, whether it's trades of grabbing the vault and who puts it in. It's just been insane to watch these teams. Again, I called it a little bit of a matchmaking moment last match, but still, every team is still somewhat just on the edge of coordination and chaos, and it is beautiful because the lobby has just been so balanced out of everyone. And right off the bat, we do see Kansas City Pioneers trying to take on Pulsar Blue. 2 of them getting eliminated on the Pioneer side. So now Pulsar Blue doing a really good job. And are they getting third party, or is that just an angle looked kind of funny?
I
No,
mean, they're not going to get third
party.
party, but we did see task managers. I guess they are coming in for the third party. They opted not to fight that vault fight and just sit back and camp the cash out. They understood that spawn was slightly disadvantageous for them. Pushing was an uphill battle, but now going in for a third party on the vault, definitely unorthodox. But knowing that spawn, the macro does make a little bit of sense, but it looks like that gateway coming away from Pulsar Blue getting a great rotation, but unfortunately Servati going to be taken out by Metro Boomin.
Yeah, he was taken out, but it's still not the end of the world for them. They are going to try to rotate out of their Wade. Actually just chasing down Sparrow, and Boo Boo unfortunately on his own as well. So even though it worked out for them to get the cash in, they are currently trying to work their way back to each other, but they are just getting pushed farther and farther away from each other because of the task managers. It's just not letting them breathe. You do see Boo Boo go down. Servati did coin in, but now Servati is by himself, able to get close enough to go for a spawn up for Boo Boo, but still having another team down their neck, it's not working out for them. Task managers is just putting way too much pressure onto Blue.
Yeah, and as we rotate away, trying to keep that Servati healthy, but they close in on Servati. Metro Boomin gonna find that winch and find that BFR shot towards him. Not sure what Pulsar Blue's gonna do. They're gonna have to look for a reset. Task managers finally backing away just a little bit. Already got the point set up. On the other side of the map, we have Diminish versus KCP. KCP sitting pretty on this high ground, waiting, but Sprendy gonna take some shots in the back, narrowly escaping, using that goo to block off that rotation. Gonna meet back up with Llama as it looks like Spawn's gonna be taken out by not Bubba. Brendy gonna get taken out by Cafaneo. Belize gonna force this steal, guys. A winch in hand. Llama does get the stall, throws on a dome, but it's not gonna be enough utility for him. He's gonna have no opportunity. Throws a C4 down there, looking for a big damage, but not enough. With the heals, everything going the way of Diminish. Diminish gonna come out on top on this one and rotate center map as this fight breaks out. We're gonna be winching over Servati. Sparrow gets taken out, not looking good, but the trade's coming out. But it's a 2v1 situation. Sparrow not gonna find his way to victory for that cash out. Looks like Diminish and Task Managers take the first cash outs.
Yeah, I mean, Diminish and Task Managers, the winners of the last 2 maps, have both been just playing so much better. It feels like both teams woke up. And surprisingly, the team we really thought that was going to be kind of being the conductors of the train of this match, Pioneers, struggling a little bit. They have not had, I would say, a fully clean match just yet. Maybe we'll start to see something out of this one as Diminish is trying to run for their lives, but it was Pioneers chasing them down. And then Pulsar Blue decides to join the action. Brendy trying to do his best to take some damage. Brendy was able to get that Sparrow right before the camera change. And then we get a trade back and forth. Boo Boo does take out the other heavy. And now, again, back and forth coming out of this one, but it comes down to Spawns being able to catch up and take out the last Pulsar Blue team. So it looks like they will be able to get Vault number 3, but it's going to be a little late. They are pinging D. Are they going to double this one up?
Yeah, and honestly, Task Manager's holding this clean. Gonna be going to look for C, keeping things separated. Gonna make some pace back up. It'd be very unfortunate to see Task Managers win that other cash out for Pioneers. Pioneers are really hoping that Pulsar goes for that third party as they make that rotation. It looks like that might be the case. Still a little bit of a routing situation coming their way. Shots come out for Llama. Llama takes a little bit of damage, but ultimately Pulsar Blue looking for cash out D, looking to take advantage of this stagger as this turret and everything lock down this point. Police and Team Diminish going to be looking for this force point as they take out Sparrow and the third party ensues.
Yeah, there's so much action going on right above task managers, and task managers are the ones that have to play in defense. They are able to drop down Belize, get the elimination as well. Belize almost did get that steal, but it didn't work out in the end. And now, even though task manager is able to stop Diminish, they now have all Pulsar Blue pushing in. Dacron knew his teammate was going to go down. He already had had the respawn ready for him, but it's still not really working out in the favor. 100% Pulsar Blue still putting so much damage onto task managers, but it's working out. Boo Boo gets taken down as the last one. Oh, Wade is able to walk out of this one alive and get Dacron back on his feet. Pioneers sitting comfortably on the other side with that entire match going on. I honestly, son, that was very impressive how task managers had to play defense, and they were able to do it against two complete different teams.
Yeah, Diminish forcing that point, drawing them out of their rat den with that turret in the corner, but able to really turn things around as soon as they got everyone on top of them. Pulsar Blue winching them away and making it work. Task managers now in a fight of their own against Diminish. Gonna make the run back against them. Dacron gonna be taken out by Belize, and now looking for their next target. But Spawns coming in, takes out Not Bubba. A little bit of a three-way fight happening between Diminished task managers and Pioneers for this cash out. Metro Boomin gonna back up just a little bit. Not sure where Wade is in this fight. It looks like they're gonna be posturing up. Wade taking out Servati as Pulsar does get the plug. A little bit of denial coming out from task managers, but it's not gonna be enough. A fight breaking out, winching in Bobo. Belize chasing him down. Another goo blocking out that line of sight. There's no way through that. Every team is posturing up now, seemingly for this next vault. The vault and the cash out so close to each other, may have a double come their way. We'll see how this goes. Will task managers go for that double, secure the second place, or go for the split?
At this point right now, they are sitting in first place. Whether or not they're going to have to go for four-way brawl out. Pioneers getting eliminated by the task managers. They're going to be the ones who are going to probably decide whether or not they want to move that vault. But on the other side now, Diminish trying their best to steal from Pulsar Blue. It's currently a 2v2. And if I'm seeing correctly, task managers is coming running in with number 6. Are they going to also double, or are they going to... No, I think they were running past and going over to B. So they're going to look to plug that one in, possibly. We're not sure just yet. 1 minute left on this one at least now, as Pulsar getting eliminated. And now Cafaneo trying to tuck himself in, get ready for this steal. The Pioneers and task managers are going to be the ones battling it out for the other vault. They're going to try to fight this one. Pioneers needs to win that fight and be able to grab that one, but if anything, if I were Pioneers, I would just rotate over here, and here they are. They get here in time. Belize is taking on Llama inside the bubble, getting taken out. Llama's able to take out 2 of them. 1 more left. They need to get their hands on the vault very soon, or cash out, excuse me. And just like that, the denial failed, and we do have players coming right back in. It's now task managers who are trying to stop that, and Pioneers able to get the steal. 15 seconds left on the clock. Someone's got to get their hands on to that one. I don't think anyone's in position for it. We do see one lined up. Can we get the denial going? No. Somehow Pulsar still has their hands on it. Oh my God! Somehow is still alive.
Pulsar
and they are
gets
able
it.
to steal it. He forced Pioneers back down into 3rd place.
I was just about to say Pioneers finally find that luck going in their way, but right as I thought that, Pulsar comes and rips it away right at the last second. Everything just went in their way on that fight. Ultimately, though, task manager is going to come on top. That's last second steal, going to secure 2nd place for Pulsar Blue. Task managers dominating that lobby. Honestly, I think it goes back to what you were saying halfway through the game. KCP being like the fan favorites, really fragging out, doing the work that they need to, the luck not really showing up in their way that they need in these cash outs games, just getting the short end of the stick ultimately. Now, task managers going to be continuing on their momentum for this game. It looks like Turret, Mines, and Breach Drill making some work.
Hey, man, it's the off meta, and sometimes it works. Sometimes when you come in with something people aren't used to or ready with, it can throw off the gameplay a lot, and people start to struggle to even figure out how to handle it. It's amazing how you could just throw a wrench in the middle of a dogfight and someone will figure out what to do with it, and it'll make things even harder for the rest of them. But yeah, Pioneers, that was their moment. They almost had it. They were almost able to finally turn things around on map number 3, get a first place, but it looks like the rest of the lobby doesn't want to let them happen. Pioneers did come in as the number 1 seed into this match, so it's pretty smart. If anyone's going to grief, they're going to grief Pioneers and force them to fall down even harder in the overall leaderboard, because right now, Pioneers 3rd place, 3 maps, 4th place in the last map. So it's I don't know, man. It's not looking good for the crowd favorite.
Yeah, I do think this lobby as a whole is really coming down to the wire in these games. It's just, where does that luck swing? Where does that pacing go to favor who? It seems like that's going to be the deciding factor. Lady Luck deciding who comes out on top. These maps just being decided by last second situations, as we just saw on Sis Horizon. Will Monaco stay the course, or will it divert? I do think this map has the opportunity to slow the things down in their pacing structure, but you never know in cash out.
You're right. You never know in cash out. It's so much harder to really control the situation when you have 3 other teams coming in and being a menace. And here we go into the last map of the night here on Monaco. This is going to be the finale for this Wednesday, for week number 3, or play day number 3, I should say, excuse me. And right off the bat, we are seeing so much damage just coming out of nowhere. A lot of pressure onto task managers on one side, and Diminish also taking some heat from Pulsar Blue.
A big RPG goes out, finds the connection with Bubba. Bubba does make his escape, but Cafaneo taking another big shot from that BFR. Belize gonna peel for his team to alleviate a little bit of that pressure. Sparrow already down now, gonna try and look for a reset potentially. Recollect yourself, but Bobo now being chased. A little bit of peel coming around for that heavy. Not looking good for Pulsar Blue as they're being chased down around this house. Goo going out for these teams. The reset does eventually come into play. And that light, Cafaneo, now is on the run, making his rotate out. But task managers coming in for a third party on the vault. I'm not sure if they already wiped or anything, or they just rotated over. We have so many teams over on a vault fight yet again, just trying to get pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think task managers just knew they were not going to be able to get the vault. So they started to rotate over to play more in the defensive end and just ended up accidentally walking in the middle of a fight. You see them now playing on the defensive end, and still the plug-in from Diminish is able to happen. But it's getting a little bit scrambled for these teams. They're struggling as the fights are taking so long. It's allowing other teams to come in out of nowhere, whether they mean to or not, to play that accidental third party.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not sure where their mentality is at in terms of these decisions, but big damage coming out. Needs to hit one more shot. Does not hit it on Wade. Wade does take out Bubba, and Cafaneo looks to get that trade and take out task managers. But on the other end, it looked like Pulsar Blue made their rotation away from that third party. Doesn't really want to mess with Lady Luck today. Going to make their way over to fight KCP on this roof. This is not a good position. Very hard to take this cash out from this long rotation over. The very hard point to take in Forest. I believe it's on that shed. How will they approach that? A big RPG comes out, finds Brendy. Brendy gonna be taken down to 2 bars. Llama now taking some big damage, but ends up taking out her body. The fight swings in the favor of KCP. Brendy gonna find that escape and get Llama healed back up. Fantastic. Barrow gonna be the last one to drop for his team.
What a big play out of that one. Brendy doing a really good job putting down some heals and then putting some damage down, and then Spawns from far being able to keep Llama alive, and that's how they were able to get that big 3-0 swing. On the other side, though, task managers and Diminish went head-to-head, and it's a pretty even fight right now. As I say that, though, Cafaneo gets eliminated, and then Bubba gets eliminated as well. Belize has to try to get out of there and gets wedged back into the lap of the task managers and gets eliminated just like that. Task managers are going to be putting this cash into their wallet because I don't think there's any time for anyone to rotate into that one, as we do see vault number 3 already being opened by Kansas City Pioneers.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Kansas City Pioneers, Brendy already taken out. Doesn't look like they're grabbing the body or anything, just gonna grab the money and dodge. Going to look to secure that plug. Brendy, 14 seconds left to cash spawn back in. Gonna see a mix of teams, a big hurricane storm coming around Cash Out C in this vault as it gets plugged in. It looks like everybody is here ready to pounce as Pulsar Blue recognizes this, backing away, looking for the cash.
Yeah,
It looks like Pioneers may have a similar idea.
Yeah, Sparrow decided to be a nuisance and try to poke and prod. I mean, luckily, staying alive, but yeah, you can almost see the hesitation out of the rest of Pulsar Blue. You kept seeing one of the players kept looking back at Vault 4, like, guys, like, we have a free vault over here, come on! And now they're just slowly trying to, rotate off the church. Hi! Spawns, able to get that respawn in time, or the res, I should say, because Task Manager's coming out of nowhere, and somehow all the players are alive.
This is crazy. Everyone was just over on the other side of the map fighting for Cash Out C. That's almost a minute in. Now everyone's coming over to Vault 4 fighting for scraps over here. I'm not sure, and I'm sure by this point everyone's going all the way back to C. They're realizing, oh, look at this stagger. Let's all go fight over at C.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. It's because everyone goes, oh, everybody's here, let's go this way. So everyone rotates together, and they keep catching each other in the middle. So they're like, oh, nope, everybody's going towards the vault. Let's go back to the cash out. Meanwhile, Diminish is just sitting there going, yeah, sure, we'll just keep reaping the benefits out of this one. Police almost getting eliminated by Bubba, keeping him alive. Just being able to reach, being able to spot one of the Pioneer players, and the other one trying to stay alive. Llama's last one to be alive gets eliminated.
Big
by
shot
Bubba.
from Bubba.
Great shots there. And now trying to keep Elise alive as task managers are rushing in, looking to do the fake tap, try to pull Diminish out of cover. The steal coming in. Bubba doing a good job, getting some big hits out of there. Oh, just missing some of his shots. Can he land at least one? He does get some damage, but gets taken out by Dicron. And it doesn't even matter, though. It looks like this is going to be Diminishes. They did such a good job delaying task managers for so long. And right off the bat, even though that one's done, we still have a cash out going on for Pulsar Blue.
Pulsar now going to be in a fight. No, I thought that winch connected from Llama, but I think it hit the little debris there. But a big RPG comes out. Servati's in trouble. Gonna get taken out by Llama. The SA-12 in hand on Monaco, but Brendy gonna be taken out as well, bringing this fight into a 2v2. Llama gonna be beamed by Sparrow. Finally, almost gets the reset, but Sparrow and Bobo gonna find spawns as well. Looks pretty good positioning for Pulsar Blue, but with that being said, task managers on their rotation over. They need to get this reset quickly. There's not much time to rotate. They do spot out another team gonna come in, posturing up for this steal. Goo blocking that high ground. Sparrow going in quickly. Does get the stop, but without that, it looks like it's gonna even up. I thought it was gonna be looking pretty bad for Pulsar Blue as 2 went down, but task managers forced off that point. Bobo gonna clean things up.
Oh, no, Wade, who's been playing amazingly. Just choking at the last second there, unfortunately not able to clean up the last Pulsar Blue. So that's going to work out in their favor. I mean, score-wise, kill-wise, I mean, it's pretty damn even across the board, honestly.
Yeah, and honestly, look at Diminish just dominating in a great position for this lobby right now. But with that being said, we have Pulsar Blue on their tail. This last cash out being so even could be anyone's game. First and second are up for grabs even still.
Yeah, this is going to be really important, again, especially even for a team like Pioneers. They have not been able to get out of the bottom two. They really need to take advantage of this one. But right now, task managers are the ones that have their hands on one of the bolts. We do have overtime being initiated. Somehow, Dick Chrome was able to stay alive, but then getting taken down anyway. It does get plugged in. We do have both cash outs going along now. Metro trying to get that shot, cannot connect. Unfortunately, getting eliminated. It's down to Wade. Wade by himself, able to take one, trying to take on a second one. Wade doing a really good job maneuvering around, but he's losing a lot of his health. He's going to get very tough very soon because now it looks like Servati has a little bit of help, or is helping Sparrow, just losing that time, even though Wade's trying his best to delay everything. It's not working in his favor. He finally is able to grab onto the trophy of his teammate, but he was getting spotted out by Pulsar Blue. Pulsar Blue just constantly making Wade dance around. It's not working in his favor. I mean, this is not what I would expect to see out of task managers, sitting down in third, pretty low in cash, honestly.
Yeah, and Wade is doing the dancing of his own. He's pouncing around, chasing them away, but it's not going to be favorable. Going to be winching this point in. Great situation for task managers setting down the dome. Both steals coming out on both sides of the match. As we go in, we're going to see the drop come out, and Pulsar Blue gets taken out. The bait working in the favor of task managers. And on the other side of the map, the steal might come out too. This might be first and second, just as we stated. Being flipped around. Task managers taking first. Diminish getting knocked down into second place for this final match on Monaco. Task managers taking 3 wins in this cash out game.
Task managers just played amazing, but Pioneers, they finally get that play they were looking for all match long. They get the last second steal, and it was only good enough for third place. Again, it's not a lot of points this week. Pioneers is going to be falling down rapidly on the leaderboard. Task managers, though, are looking to pretty much jump and leapfrog over Pioneers.
Yeah, on the scoreboard, everything's looking very even across the board. Basically 5s and 6s all the way down. We see a little bit of deviation as we get to the lower half of the teams. But overall, as we can see, basically every scoreboard we've seen in this group has seemed like this. Seen a couple pop-offs from spawns early on, but overall, this whole game was decided just by pacing, a little bit of luck and skill. So overall, very good matches in this Group C.
Yeah, this was probably the most balanced match we had tonight. It was incredible to see everyone and all the matches going on. But this Group C match, we really get to see what happens more on a bit about the lower part of the leaderboard. I don't want to say fully bottom of the leaderboard, but definitely that middle range. And it's going to be, again, it was very important for them to be able to do what they were going to be able to do, because you're going to only have one more week after this Saturday to set yourself up nicely to try to gain a little bit more of those points overall to make yourself all the way into the playoffs. So it's important, Soyo, for them to be able to do that kind of thing. And just so everyone knows, we are currently trying to get the scoreboards up to date so we could see the finale of tonight and what we are basically going to expect. Because again, once the scoreboard is fully up to date, every 4 positions is basically the groups we will see for Saturday.
Yeah, this day was very important for the seedings coming up on Saturday. Just like you said, I do think we're going to see some crazy shakeups, especially going back into this lobby. We did see a turret breach drill mine potentially take the top seed of their group. Overall, we'll have to take a look at the standings when we get those coming in. But what do you think, randomized, about the entire day? What are some standout teams that we saw in these lobbies? I guess we'll be able to tell as we take a look at the points.
Yeah, I mean, let's check out these points as they're going to be fully up to date, and there are your groups. I mean, again, we saw some insane differences on how each team came in. There were some teams that came in fully demolishing, like Space Station Gaming, where they were just constantly controlling the matches. And it doesn't surprise me to see them up there. Task managers barely reaching first seed in their match again with a turret and a breach drill, and it was just incredible to see that one. And generally very happy to see, out of all the teams and all the positions they are in, I'm happy to see Young Guns up in Group A.
Yeah, Young Guns having a great performance today, as well as task managers and SSG. Nightmare also cleaning up crew in their groups. I do think we saw some of the top teams rise in terms of their performance to the top of Group A. It's great to see how that played out. Group B also, honestly, all these groups, such strong teams. But the one thing that we do see, Group C, Envy and Pioneers shaking down to the bottom. I do think that's relatively surprising in these groups. Apor also being down there. But Envy, I don't know. Gonna have to make some room in these. Gonna have to make some headway in these games on Saturday to earn back some of those points.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about trying to get the overall points. Again, you see how many points you get on the cash outs on the side there on the left side, 180, 40, 20. That's where the one mistake I made. Whereas the 3v3s can make a difference because you need to be able to get into that top group. Again, you see the first through 12th. Obviously, you can't get 12 teams in a 3v3. So just to explain a little bit, we did see the groups earlier on that we're going into Saturday. So if you're in Group 1, you are playing for the minimum of fourth place and 500 points. It's just a big difference between being in Group 1 fourth place and being in Group 3 fourth place. It's that's why it's so important to line yourself up as we look at the overall points. Even though Envy had a really bad, I guess, weak round, whatever we want to call it, Envy's still sitting second place overall on the leaderboard. But after this week, there's some really good opportunities for other teams to just kind of push Envy down on the leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly. That's why performance on those 3v3 days, especially on Wednesday on cash out days, just like today, are important to snowball and capitalize on the 3v3. So stay tuned for those Saturday games. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, very excited for that one. But of course, we do have to one more time give a big shout out to our sponsor, Crash. Once again, it's people like Crash that gives us a reason to be able to sit here and do what we do here at PHL. So thank you. Much love to Crash and the rest of the community who also are here to support. Much love to everyone in the audience for coming out every single week. We do see you in the chat. We love the hype you all bring to us. And we thank you every single Wednesday and Saturday for coming out and supporting us. And it's amazing to see how far the esports scene for the finals has come in just 2 years. We have a majors coming up soon, and this is like basically your big teaser. So thank you again, Crash. But with that being said, I think we have a little bit of closing remarks. Sun Soyo, do you have anything you would like to say to close this one out?
I'm excited for Saturday's games. Obviously, we got plenty of teams in EU and NA, top tier teams that are going to be showing out in the 100K major. I just booked my tickets to the 100K major, so I'm really excited to meet all the people in the community. But otherwise, I'm Sensoyo. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Sensoyo, pleasure casting with you. It's the first time you and I got to sit in the booth together, and I have been enjoying every second of this one. And I hope everyone enjoyed our little show we were able to put on for you. So with that, we are going to be closing this one out for tonight, Wednesday. Now, again, make sure if you haven't, follow the channel and put on the notification bell because we are going to be playing on Saturday. Again, this is where we're going to be doing the cash outs into the 3v3s for the big points and the big leaderboards Saturday morning for us and NA people. You better wake up. It's not too early, at least for East Coast, but still, wake up. Be there on Saturday. We'll see you there. Have a good night, everyone, and see you this weekend.